What's up, Maria? All right, everybody, we're just getting set up over here in the background, so please bear with me a little bit. Please be sure and do as Mr. Bob Ross says. Say hello and let us know where you're from while you're waiting for me to jump on here in just a second. Okay, we're going to talk about what we're doing today, the process, the paints, all of that good stuff. It's not quite 1 o'clock just yet, but we are going to get going here in just a minute or two. All right, so if you can, please listen to Mr. Bob Ross. His sign says, "Hi, everyone. Say hello and tell us where you're painting from." Okay? All right. All right, all right. All right, Bob. That'll be enough from you. Thank you, buddy. I'll take it from here. All right. Got to make sure I don't knock Mr. Bob Ross down there. Whoa. I got to grab my stool. How's it going, everybody? This is Jesse, and you are painting with Jesse. Give me 1 second. Let me adjust my camera. I think I need to make a little adjustment here before we get going. So, give me 1 moment. Avert your eyes. If you get motion sickness, there we go. All right, how's everybody doing today? Sorry, one more time. One more little adjustment. We'll get it right, I promise. There we go. All right, how is everybody doing today? Hello, hello, welcome to Painting with Jesse. My name is Jesse, and for those of you that are new, welcome. And for those of you that have been painting with me for a little while, welcome back. Who's with us today? Let me take a look here at my screen to see what's happening. What's up, Gina and Jennifer Lopez and Bricia's back. Rebecca Arnold, how's it going, guys? Got a bunch of you on here. Looks like we've got about 50 people viewing today, at least so far. At least 50 devices are on my channel, so that's pretty fantastic. In a second, we're going to get going. Hopefully, you guys all got a chance to make your little cutouts, the little cutouts of your bears. Okay, here's what mine look like. I got 3 little bears on mine, 3 different sizes, the ones that I sent you guys. Okay, if you guys were to cut them out directly from those copies that I sent, they should be about maybe 5 inches for the big one, maybe 3 inches for the medium one, and then you got a little 1.5 inches for the little cup. About. Don't stress about it if it's not quite the same sizes. That's not really important. I'm going to be painting on a 16 by 20 inch canvas. Whatever you guys have is what you're going to be using. Let's see who else is on here. What's up, Ariel? Well, all right, sounds good, Maria. Maria says she actually looks like she's going to be drinking with us today. For those of you that don't know, what we do on this channel is, everybody drinks something different, right? Whether it's water, tea, or whatever. We do little toasts throughout. So make sure you guys have something to drink on hand so you guys can join us in the toast. Also snacks, etc. Tanya Ambrosi, how's it going from, let's see, Elliott in Massachusetts actually is what she's saying. What's up, Mubin? Welcome back. Let's see who else is on here. Looks like I missed a whole bunch of comments, so let me see if I can back up. Amber Nathan, Wilmington, North Carolina. How's it going, Amber? Thank you for joining us. Hi, Lily. How's it going? Let's see. Annie Tong. Hi, Annie. Hope you guys are all excited and ready to have some fun today, because that's what we're going to be doing here on Painting with Jesse. So let's talk about the colors really quickly. We're going to get going in about 10 minutes here, but let's talk about the colors. You don't need a whole lot of different colors. The main colors that I'm going to be using today: blue, black, white. Okay? So this blue here is a lot darker than what I've got on the background. I'm going to mix it with a little bit of white to lighten it up. Everybody's going to be able to create what they see as their version of this painting. So if you don't have these exact colors, please do not worry. The point isn't to create an exact version of what I've got over there. You can change it up however you want. I've got a couple of little bears on mine. You can have 3 bears, 4 bears. That's all up to you. Part of the whole thing with this was that you create your own little bear family. So maybe, you know, yours is going to have 6 bears. I don't know. It's all, again, all up to you. I sent you guys that sent me the email, sent me a request for the little cutouts. I sent you a big bear, which could be mama bear or papa bear, right? Sent you a little medium bear, could be mama bear, or maybe this is older big brother or big sister, whatever, and then you got the little cubs. So you guys are going to be able to play with this however you'd like. You are going to be needing a pencil, okay? A pencil, maybe a Sharpie to be able to outline the bears once we have them drawn in place. So, but you definitely want to have a pencil. A Sharpie is optional, but it will help some of you guys. So maybe have that handy. Also, you guys want to have something to use as a little template for your moon, okay? So the moon, this plate is about 6 inches. Anything that's kind of similar in size, I mean, it really depends on how big of a canvas you're using. If you've got a, you know, maybe an 11 by 14, you're going to need something smaller, but it's up to you. The moon could be as big as a regular plate. I mean, if I had made my moon this size, this, you know, 8-inch plate size, that would work as well. So, okay, so kind of up to you guys. You could use the bottom of a paint bottle, a jar, you know, a coffee jar, whatever you got. You can also freehand it. Sometimes that can be a little tricky. I can show you guys how to freehand, but it's not going to come out as perfect as an actual circle, right? So that's kind of up to you guys. But you do want to have that as well. So all right, we got 62 devices on at the moment. Pretty damn awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining. Dang, excuse my language. For those of you that are new here, welcome, welcome. I really do appreciate you guys being here with me today. Okay, we're going to have some fun. We're going to go through all the steps involved. If some of you guys are just stopping by and just kind of checking in, maybe you're not painting with us at the moment, the video will be staying up, so you can always come back and go through the process step by step later. Okay, it'll be the live version of what we're doing right now. So you'll be able to, the benefits of that is you can pause it, back it up, that kind of stuff, which you can't do on the live. All right, so who else is on here with us? Looks like Christy from Fargo, Oklahoma. Hi, Christy, welcome. And Anissa Salcera, how's it going? From Indonesia, but live in California. Welcome, Anissa. Awesome, so awesome. Let's see, Cindy Bowman from Cleveland, Ohio. Hi, Cindy. Say hi, guys, so we can say hello to you. Also, feel free to chat amongst each other if you have some friends or family that are joining the live and you guys want to say hi to each other. Please do so in the comment section. That's what this is for. Okay, it's for us to all kind of sit there and be able to connect with each other. Doesn't matter where we are. So let's see who else. Sorry, guys, I know I'm not going to be able to get all of the comments, but I got quite a few coming through. Looks like Connie Zek from Arizona. Hi, Connie. How's it going? Welcome. Helen, what's up? Hi, Helen. Hi, Jocelyn. So Jocelyn, a couple of weeks ago, won the raffle. Jocelyn, you're going to be getting that soon. I already sent it out as I messaged you. Let's see who else is on here. Pamela Dudenoff. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. From New York. Hi. Oh, it's Olivia. Olivia from New York. How's it going, Olivia? Marissa Jones from Illinois. Hi. How's it going? All right, guys. Very, very cool. A whole bunch of people on here right now. So fantastic. So really quick, let's go over our supplies. I just talked about the paints, but for those of you that maybe just jumped on, let me go over that paint list again, or the paint colors that I'm going to be using. So I've got some dark blue, and this is actually brilliant blue. Phthalo blue is also another one that you could use for this, but basically any dark blue that you've got is okay. This is darker than the color that I've got in the background, but I mix it with a little bit of white to lighten it up. And then I've got some white, some black, and of course I've got the white. Okay? As far as glitter colors, for those of you that are going to be using glitter paints. Oh, really quickly, folks, you also want to have I'm not sure if you're using a plate as your palette, but you do want to have a spare plate, at least a couple of them, where we mix colors on, okay? At least one more, because we're not going to be doing a whole bunch of mixing. At least one extra plate where we're going to be mixing, especially our background blue on. So make sure you guys have that handy. Also, paper towels are a must. It gets messy sometimes. You do want to be able to clean up. Also brushes. You guys all have your brushes handy. You guys want to have a cup of some type. And this is for all of you that are new, first time painters. I'm going to be painting. Oh, that is acrylic paint, by the way, that I'm going to be using. Got myself a solo cup with a little bit of water in it. And of course, I leave all my brushes in there while we paint, okay, during the painting process. Acrylic paint dries very quickly, and the water keeps the paint from drying on those brushes and ruining them. Okay, so make sure you guys have that handy. As far as the glitter colors, what I started off talking about, for those of you that have glitter paints, all right, perfect, fantastic. These come in handy at the very end. For those of you that do not, and maybe want to get them in the future, this is applied at the very end, the very last step. So that once you're done today, if you want to apply glitter, you can always go get that glitter, pick that up somewhere, and then come back and add that to your painting. So I picked this brand up at Michael's, Craft Twinkles from Deco Art. I've got some red, got some gold, and I've got some blue. Not sure that I'll be using all of those colors on the painting today, but we'll see. And then I've got some pearl color or crystal. I believe this one is crystal, correct. Anyway, these glitter colors we apply. You can apply them wherever you want. But what I did on the original here is I added some blue in here. I added some of the crystal on the bear in here, and then I added some gold up on the leaves in the tree. Okay, and then I'm not sure if you guys all noticed, but there are little stars up in our sky. So we're going to be working on that also. Anyhow, again, this is all just optional. I always tell everyone anything that you guys see on the painting here is what I'm going to be walking you guys through the steps and recreating. However, if some of you guys want to get creative and do something different, please feel free to do so. It's your painting. I want you guys to be happy with what you produce. So whatever you guys want to change, maybe the background color, right? Maybe the bears are going to be different colors. Maybe you're going to have brown bears instead of silhouette black bears, right? Maybe you're going to have a sun instead of a moon. All up to you guys. Everybody's painting ends up looking a little bit different or a lot of it different. All of that is okay. The idea isn't to try to recreate exactly what I've done up here. Everybody's going to have their own version of this, okay? For those of you that painted with me last week with the Bessie the cow, I'm not sure, for those of you that are new, there's a video from last week where a whole bunch of you came on here and painted Bessie. Right, she's right up here. You guys all painted this with me last week, and there were a whole bunch of you that joined me, okay? A whole lot of you sent me pictures of what you created, and they were fantastic. If you guys go back and look at all those pictures, now that might drop, that might fall down. I didn't put it back up exactly probably where it should be. Anyway, if you guys go back and look at the pictures from last week, I posted them, I think it was that same Saturday. You guys will see everybody's cows are different, but they're all fantastic. And that's the idea, okay? That's what I want you guys to understand. So, all right, guys, and we're at 1:11 right now. In about 3-4 minutes, I'm going to switch everything to the front. We're going to start to get going here. Let's see, anybody else? Who else do we got? All right, let's see. Yeah, folks, if you guys are asking about the templates, again, if you don't have them and you want to get those, simply email me at paintingwithjesse@gmail.com, and then I'll email those to you. The video will stay up, so you guys can come back and watch this at another time, okay? If you guys don't have them today, it's okay. You can even start painting with us and do the background, do the moon, do everything but the bears, okay? So if you guys don't have those cutouts, those little templates to cut out, or templates cut out already, simply paint along with us, do everything but the bears, and then you'll be okay once you get those cutouts. You know, print them out, cut them out, outline them, do follow, pay attention to the process, and then you'll have those handy, okay? All right, Christy Taylor, hello from Virginia. Hi, Christy. Who else? I know, guys, there's a whole bunch of comments, and I apologize. I'm not getting to all of them. What's up, Concepcion? How are you? Marilyn, how's it going? Let's see, Marilyn. What did you say, Marilyn? I think you said you don't have the cutouts. So Marilyn, so the cutouts were emailed out. Okay, I believe I sent some to Ariel. I don't remember if she emailed me and asked me for them. But you will need the cutouts today. I'm not going to be teaching you guys how to draw the bears, okay? So again, if you guys need them, simply email me and I'll get those over to you. If you guys, while I'm going through the steps here, if you guys email to me, I will try to get those to you. in between steps, okay? But you're gonna have to be quick about cutting them out so you can be ready with those by the time we start to draw. No promises that I'm gonna be able to get those to you. If a whole bunch of you start emailing me, I won't have time to send them all to everybody right now. But if you send them after this video is over, send me an email, I'll get those to you and you guys will be good to go. All right, everybody, hope you guys are ready to have some fun. I'm gonna turn my table over to the other side, bring the camera forward so you guys get a close-up of what I'm doing. You guys don't want to see my noggin in the way. You guys just want to see the painting, okay? So in a moment, so I'm going to be painting with my canvas horizontally, like this. You guys can do this painting vertically if you would like. I'll leave that entirely up to you. That's a choice that you can make. I'm going to keep it vertical, okay? And then the other day somebody, I think it was Gina, I believe it was Gina. What's up, Gina? I think I saw you in the comment section. Somebody asked me, "Hey Jesse, I think it was Gina. Where'd you get your easel?" And to be honest, I don't remember where I got it. I either got it at Michael's or I got it at. Actually, I think somebody might have given it to me. Somebody gave it to me as a gift, I think. Anyhow, they have this exact same version at Hobby Lobby. I just saw it like 2 days ago, and I sent Gina a message letting her know it was like 49 bucks. But with one of those 40% coupons, you'll save a lot on it. It's a pretty cool easel. It's durable, and it's it's perfect for what we do. So if you guys are interested, that's where you can pick that up. All right, folks. I'm going to move my camera forward. So if you guys get motion sickness, please avert your eyes for a second while I get this set up. I'm just going to bring it forward, get it close to the canvas, so you guys can see what I'm doing. Now, I believe it was Lisa. Suggested that maybe I start doing these with the camera horizontal, so panoramic, so that maybe if you guys cast these, you can see it better on the TV screen. And I think I will try that next time. I think I tried it when I first started it, and there was something weird that happened with the Facebook Live that was kind of just odd about the process. So I stopped trying it, but I will try it next time and see. But I'll have to experiment first. I didn't have time to experiment before today, so I didn't want to chance something going wrong and then things not working out. Things happen with the live versions. All kinds of quirky things can happen, and I try to avoid experimenting as much as I can. I've experimented a few times in the past, and we lost the feed. On that note, folks, if for whatever reason, as we're painting along, you guys lose the feed, please refresh your screens. I will be back. Sometimes it takes about 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes to get back up and running, but I will be back. It's just sometimes it happens. A couple of times I got kicked off for playing music in the background, and Facebook's algorithm picked it up. I didn't have the music rights, yada yada yada. So I got kicked off, and then I had to restart the video. But it doesn't take very long. I'm just saying that just in case you guys see me disappear. All right, folks, give me a minute. I'm just finishing setting up so that I can see your comments. Putting my laptop over across from me. We're going to get started in about 2 minutes. Okay? Maybe not even that. So once again, if you don't have the bear templates, don't worry. You can paint along. Just when we get to the bears, you won't have those. But you will be able to email me and I'll get those over to you, and then you can do the bears part last. Okay, so don't stress if you don't have the bears, just paint along, and we will I'll get you squared away afterwards. I'll send you those templates. Okay, part of in the description, I know sometimes it's hard to see all the information on there, but in the information for the event, I asked that you guys send me an email because I wasn't going to be for those templates because I wasn't going to be teaching how to draw with the bears. Often, for those of you that don't know, what I'll do is whenever we're doing anything, like when we did Bessie, I do go through the drawing steps. For those of you who want to learn the drawing process, I do that with some of my events, a lot of my events actually. All right, everyone, enough talk. You guys are in Uncle Jesse's house now, and we're going to be doing a little painting, pretty little painting today. I want you guys all to just relax. Don't stress out. If you guys are stressing, please don't stress out, especially if you're new to painting. A whole lot of new people on here. A lot of people with very little experience. Maybe some of you are on here with no experience. Do not stress out about this process. The best thing you can do in general, I'm speaking in general, is to relax, okay? Also, watch what I do. You're going to learn from me just as much by listening to me as you do by watching me. If you mimic what I do with my brush strokes, the way I hold the brush, things like that, you're going to pick up a lot. The way I angle my brush when I do things on the canvas, pay attention to all those things, and you will pick up a lot of detail off of that. I talk you through the steps. However, watching, paying attention really does help. But mainly, guys, I want you to relax. Okay? I want you to relax and don't focus on recreating an exact version of what I've got. I mean, if that's really your goal, that's okay, but don't stress out about going, oh my God, I've got to make it this exact thing like Jesse's got. Nope, not necessary. You can do whatever you want. Your moon could be a little smaller. Your moon could be larger. Your bear could be facing the opposite direction. The bears could be touching well, not quite touching noses, but facing each other. Unless you got two big bears that are looking at each other, right? So when we get to the part where we're doing the bears, your bears could be like this. You could have two bears in the center, you know, touching noses. Maybe one bear's over here. Maybe you've got a medium-sized bear coming in the opposite direction, right? All up to you where your placement of everything on here is going to be. Your tree, maybe you don't have a tree, or maybe you have two trees, or maybe your tree's on the left. All those things are things that you're going to be able to change up. Don't be afraid to take some chances, okay? Because that is really what this is all about. I want you guys to have fun. All right, so I've got some dark blue right here. I'm using my big brush. We're going to cover up the entire, oh, excuse me. No, we're not. No, we are not. Give me 1 second, folks. I decided earlier that I'm going to try this a little different today. Give me 1 second. Here's what we're going to do first. First things first. We are going to go, I want you guys to look at this first. I'm not going to do this, and we're not going to do the step just yet. When you do your moon, I want to point this out. You're going to have a reflection right below. We're not doing this just yet, but I want to point this out on a white canvas so you guys can kind of take a look, or nothing on it before we do anything. And we're going to go over this again when we go to do the step. So this right here, you're going to have a reflection right below. The moon, the edges of your moons are going to be touching, okay? How high your moon is kind of up to you, but the higher it goes, your main moon, then the more of the reflection you're going to be able to see. Okay? Just something that I wanted to point out before we actually go through and do this. Okay, so back to our blue. Back to our blue. Take some blue here. Take your mix plate, the plate where you're going to be mixing your colors. We're going to do this. We're going to go slowly at the beginning. Take some white. Okay? You don't have to take a whole lot of white at first. Take some white and mix the two colors together. You're going to decide how dark your background color is. You want it, it's nighttime, right? We got a blue sky in the background, so you want a generally dark blue color in your sky. Okay? So give me 1 second. Let me scroll down here on my comments to make sure I got caught up with everyone. All right, here we go. So the outline, we're not going to be doing the outline first. We're going to be doing the background first. We're going to be doing all of our background first. Then we're going to come in with the moon. Yes, that's going to make your pencil line hard to see. Don't stress too much about that. You will be able to see it. Okay? When you trace your plate onto your canvas, you are going to be able to see that pencil line. So here's what we're doing. We're just going horizontally. Long brush strokes. Again, watch what I'm doing. Could we trace up the moon first? Sure, we could. The only problem then is that you're going to have to be painting around it, and so these long, even brush strokes aren't possible because you have the moon in the way. Also, when we add the white paint over the blue at the beginning, your moon's going to be, it's going to look like light blue. We're going to add 2 or 3 coats of white to the moon to make it really, really bright. Okay? Lisa, you're asking about the outline? Sorry, so that when we outline the moon, when we do the template for the moon, okay, you're gonna need a plate to outline the moon in, okay? A plate or a jar, you can freehand it if you want, but that's going to be a lot trickier. Okay, so with this, I'm not going to go all the way down. I'm actually going to find a little spot. So watch what I do next really quickly, just to kind of, even though the color, so let me point this out on the painting. Even though this blue is almost essentially the same color as this, I'm not going to do this blue I'm not going to paint like this all the way down. First thing I'm going to do is this. About maybe 4 inches up from the bottom of my canvas, depending on the size canvas you're using. About 4 inches up. Okay, I'm going to slow this down a little bit. Okay, about 4 inches up, I'm going to do this with my dark blue paint. Okay, all I did was take some of this, some of my dark blue paint, and I'm making this outline. Okay, you don't need more than that. All I'm doing is creating the line, the division between the sky and the ground. Sorry guys, you guys are asking about an outline. I'm not sure if you're talking about the moon outline or when we do our bears, when we outline the bears. Okay, so right in a little bit we're going to be doing an outline of the moon. Okay, so in the description for the event, I did talk about it a few times in the comments and such. You're going to need something. You can freehand this, or you're going to need something to create the outline for your moons when we get to that point. Okay, so again, I'm hoping that I'm not misunderstanding what the question is, but those are the two outlines that we're talking about. Okay, so everybody kind of get to this point. You're gonna do this. Okay, you're gonna have this area right there, which is going to basically represent this little land area, the ground. Okay, you've got the sky, you've got the land, and you've got the water below it. Okay, so that's what that's representing right there. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a moment. Now I am going to take this, and all this blue that I just added is going to meet up with that landmass in just a moment. I want you guys to get caught up. It feels like we started a little quickly, a little fast, and I don't want to lose any of you guys. So I'm also trying to jump over here on my Facebook on my phone to make sure that I'm not missing any questions. There we go. I see you guys now. All right, let's see. 1 second. Dry. Okay. While I'm doing that, what then you want to do? So now what you're going to do is simply connect the rest of your sky down to this line, and you can do this. So all above this line is going to take the same treatment of this dark blue. I'm slowing it down a little bit right now especially for a lot of those of you that are new. Okay, I'm going to slow it down, and then we'll start to pick it up. So again, all we're doing right now is doing this right here. Just painting in the color of our sky. Yours can be lighter than mine. It can be darker than mine. We're also going to increase the thickness of the ground here in a little while. For now, that's all I want. I just want to see this. Hello, Prachi. How are you? Let's see. It's already on. Why can't they get to the event? Now. Okay. Okay. So again, everybody just fill all this in. Using long horizontal brush strokes, it makes your paint, makes the color a lot more even, looks a little smooth, it looks smoother. You can do choppy lines like this, and that will also work. But for now, this is all I want you guys to do. Okay. I always tell everybody I like to color the sides of my canvas. I'm going to go ahead and do that now with the same color, left and right, all the way up, all the way down. So again, one of the questions that's going to come up is why are we outlining our moon after we do the background paint? So that's an option. You can always do it first, as I mentioned earlier. However, you won't have as smooth of a background. So again, what I'm doing right now is I'm simply painting the edges, top, sides. I'm not doing the bottom edge unless you're painting on a table. If you're painting on a table, then go ahead and you're going to be doing your bottom edge. Okay? So again, top, sides, up and down. And again, folks, if some of you guys are just stopping in, not painting, you're just kind of trying to see what this is about, the video is going to stay up. If you get your supplies ready and everything else, you will be able to join us. Also, I want to say congratulations to Vanessa Kirsten. I hope I'm pronouncing that last name right, Vanessa. Not sure if you're painting with us today, but Vanessa won the drawing that we held last Saturday during our Bessie painting. Okay, she won that drawing, and she picked the mermaid painting. She ended up picking the mermaid painting. Took that home. So not emailed that to her. I sent it to her. All right, everyone. So you should have, right now, your entire sky should be colored in, okay? In a moment, we're going to get started on the bottom here, on the water. The colors for the water are pretty much the same, okay? However, what you are going to do is you're going to streak it a little bit. So you'll see what I'm talking about in a bit. I'm just explaining it now. Don't stress about it. You're going to streak it a little bit so that it looks more like water, okay? So again, pretty much the same colors as what we're using up on top, but we're going to streak this a bit, all right? So again, I'll give you guys a couple minutes to get caught up here. I know some of you guys are maybe starting a little bit late, but we got a couple minutes before we get going on that color in the water. And again, I'm trying to catch up on my phone here. I'm not sure. I'm not getting the feed to come up. Oh, here we go. There it is. Found you now. All right, guys. Lisa says, Lisa, congratulations. She says it's their 12-year anniversary. Congratulations. So awesome. So awesome. Thank you for joining me today. That's pretty awesome. Any birthdays? Is anybody celebrating birthdays today? I know Jennifer Lopez is celebrating hers next week. Woo! We're not going to be having an event next Saturday. Sorry to say. But anyway, Jennifer, since we're not going to be live on your birthday, I do want to say pre-happy birthday, early happy birthday. All right. Okay, everyone. So let's talk about the water. I'm done with this big brush. Okay, I used the really large brush to create this background color. Whoops, don't want to do that just yet. To create the background color, I'm going to go ahead and switch this over to a smaller brush. Okay, so I've got this brush here that's about 1 inch. This is a 2-inch brush. This is a 1-inch brush. Now, folks, these are synthetic bristle brushes that I use. They're my favorite types of brushes to paint with. Okay, these are durable. I picked these up at Hobby Lobby. Actually, I got these at Michael's. These are from Artist Loft. Okay, Anyway, this is a 1-inch brush. I'm going to take essentially the same color that I did to create the background. A little bit of that dark blue, okay? A little bit of white. And I'm going to make this mix a little bit streaky. What I mean by that is that I can see both colors in my paint. Blue and the white floating around in there. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfectly blended. Once I've done this, once I've got a color that's close to the color of the sky, it doesn't have to be exact. Once I've got a color that's close to that, we're going to go ahead and start making the water. And here's how I'm doing this. Again, we want it a little streaky. So I can use the edge of my brush, like this, the skinny part of the brush. Remember, kind of watch how I hold the brush. I'm holding the brush close to the back of the handle, and then I'm just streaking this across. Yes, Lulu, this will be recorded. Absolutely. This will stay up. Hi, Kathy Campen. Let's see, Kathy and Benjamin Campen are celebrating their birthdays. Awesome. Happy birthday to both of you. Happy birthday. I would sing you happy birthday, but you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear me sing. So everyone, check this out, everyone. So again, I'm using the edge of my brush. And what I'm doing is I'm doing long brush strokes, but because the color isn't fully mixed, it allows there to be a little extra streaking in the paint. So it looks a little bit more like water. It can be still water or slightly running water. We got a little stream here or a lake. If it's a stream, we got a little, the water's running a little bit there. If it's a lake, it's kind of still. Here, still waters. Here, when you get to the top edge, you can kind of just do this. We're going to cover a lot of this top part up with more ground, right? The ground's going to be a little thicker, a little bit bigger. There we go, just like that. So left and right, if you wanted to, and I recommend it, when you're doing that top edge right here where the white is, right below the dark blue, switch over to a slightly smaller brush. Okay, switch over to a smaller brush, and that'll allow you better control, and you're going to be able to get in here and just do a really close, paint really close to that edge. Again, we're going to make this landmass, the little land here, the little ground, a little bit thicker in a bit. So don't worry too much about the edge being perfect. You're going to cover a lot of this up. Okay? But you can also use this little brush to make some streaks. Again, folks, please relax. No stressing allowed. Take your time with this. Have some fun. The main goal should be to have some fun. And again, for those of you that haven't yet gotten your templates for the bears, you can paint along all the way through the point where we get those, where we're going to start working on the bears. Okay, and then you can always add that later. You can always email me and I'll send those to you. Right? So email me at paintingwithjesse and I'll get those to you. So, lastly for my water, I'm taking a little bit more white paint, bringing it over to this blue area where I had the mix, the original mix that I was using for that background. So I'm just making a little bit of a lighter version. So then I can come in here and just lightly add some few little streaks here and there. Again, if you're painting with a group, don't worry that your paintings look a little different. That's perfectly normal. Everybody's creating their own version of this little midnight stroll painting. Okay? All right. There we go. I'll give you guys a moment so I can check your comments. All right, let's see. All right. What's up, Annie? I like those little emojis that you're sending. And these here, these little hearts are for all you guys that are joining me. Thank you guys so much. Looks like we've got about 68 devices on at the moment. Not sure how many of you are painting in groups. That could mean that we've got maybe 100 or so people painting along. For those of you that don't have your little drinks ready, please get those ready. We're going to do our first little toast. Okay. Oh, and I happen to get some paint on my glass here. No big deal. For those of you that are joining me today, painting along with me, so you guys are so awesome. I really do appreciate it. I want to thank you guys all very much. Again, the goal is to relax and have some fun. Last, you should care about how great your painting is, right? Last thing. The first things are to have some fun and to relax. And then worry about making a really nice painting. You'll get there. The more relaxed you are, the better usually the outcome is. But anyway, for those of you, all of you that are joining us today, but especially those of you that are celebrating an anniversary, Lisa, this goes to you guys. And then Kathy and Benjamin, who are celebrating birthdays. Anybody else that's celebrating birthdays, or whatever it is you're celebrating today. Cheers to you guys. Cheers to all of us. Salud, everybody. Bottoms up. Little sips, though. Not too big of a drink. You're drinking the hard stuff. We are going to be painting for about 2.5 hours, approximately. And I don't want to lose any of you. So if you're drinking the hard stuff, go slowly. Okay, go slowly on the hard stuff. All right. I'm going to take a quick look at my emails. You guys keep working on this. Let me bring the painting up close to the camera so you guys can kind of see what that looks like up close. Okay, the water is a little streaky. It's kind of subtle. Okay, there's subtleties in that water that make it look like water. When we add the stars up in the sky and you got the moon and the reflection, it's all going to make more sense. Okay? But right now, that's about what your painting should be looking like. Okay? Again, I also painted my edges. I forgot this edge here, but you do. It's an option. You don't have to do it. But I like painting the edges, the sides of the canvas. I painted the top and the left. Still got to do this bottom part over here. And I might as well do that now. Well, I've got some fresh paint. So let me do that really quickly. I'm going to take this canvas and lift it up so I can take care of this right now. All right. There we go. Something like that. And look what I did here. I stuck my palms right on my canvas, and I took some of the paint that was on the sides off, and I happened to kind of smear it up in here. No big deal. What does Bob Ross say? Happy little accidents. I like to say there's almost nothing that you cannot fix when you're painting. Almost. And something like this is pretty easy to fix. I would just kind of simply make sure that I've got a mixture that's similar to what I've got on that background, and I just come in and do this. Just covering that up. Okay? Okay. I'm going to give you guys about a minute or two. What's the question? See, I see a comment. Helen. Okay, so again, for the streaky effects in the water, and I know some of you guys may have missed that. So once I did the water, pretty much almost not quite solid, right? Like I was mentioning, when I mixed the paint, you wanted it to be streaky. But after I had a lot of blue paint, or all of the water section colored in, I took a little bit of white, added it to the mixture to lighten it up a little bit. I took a smaller brush. Okay, this is a 1/2 inch brush here. Anything that you've got will do, but this is about a 1/2 inch brush. Okay, again, synthetic bristles, paint brushes that I prefer to use. And then I just came in here and lightly started doing this. Okay, so this is all I'm doing. Using the skinny edge of the brush, I'm creating all these little water lines in here, or making it look like I got some varying colors, little water movement to create, that kind of give you the effect of water moving across. And these are subtle. Yours could be a little lighter if you want them to be. Again, it's all about options in here. Okay, you can, if you made those really light white, that would work as well. If you made some dark ones, that would also work. Okay, we're gonna have big moon in here. We're gonna have big moon up in here and then reflected into the water. So we're going to get working on that here in just a moment. So be ready for that. Okay. Hopefully you guys all have something that you can trace out. I'm going to give you guys a moment to get that ready, because that's what we're going to be doing next. So I'm using the 6-inch paper plate, styrofoam plate, that works well with my 16 by 20 inch canvas. However, if you guys have something smaller or something bigger than this, that will work as well. Okay, don't stress about the size of this thing. It could be, your moon could be really large. Your moon could be this whole gigantic thing. There's my one of my roses that I showed you guys how to make last week from the Bessie painting. Your moon could be this large and it would still work. Okay, I'm going to be sticking to my approximate 6-inch plate. If you guys have a smaller moon, that will also work. Okay, again, I don't want you guys stressing too much about creating an exact replica of what I've got. Work with what you have. You'll find that most everything will work, and you guys, you'll make some pretty cool paintings, regardless of whether they look exactly like mine. Okay, so get whatever it is you're going to be using, get that ready. You could be using the bottom of a paint jar. You could be using a coffee lid. You could be using, I don't know, paint can of like one of those small paint cans that you to paint your house. That kind of thing. I would probably say you don't want to make it too small. Maybe something even this size would still work. Probably be okay. You do want to make a fairly large moon. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing here in just a second. So get that ready. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes. This painting is not super complicated, so we're able to take our time a little bit more. Usually when we got something that's, more complicated, we don't want to run over our time. Sorry, folks, I'm looking at my emails here. I'm not trying to be distracted, but I'm looking at the emails that are coming in. Okay. All right. Let's see. There you go, Kathy. Kathy says, I've always said accidents for some people are opportunities for creativity for others. There you go. Beautiful. Sammy Zoo, hi, how are you? All right. So here we go, everyone. Here's what we're going to be doing. And I want you guys to pay attention to a couple of things. When you do your trace for your moon, okay, you're going to be doing the top part first. Okay? You probably don't want to go too high up, but again, that option is up to you. On my original painting, the moon is almost approximately right in the middle of my canvas, both horizontally and vertically, the main moon. Okay, so if I was to do this, the distance between the top and the bottom is almost the same. It's actually maybe a little bit higher, closer to the top than it is to the bottom. Okay, this can vary a little bit for every one of you, depending on which size canvas you're using. And maybe some of you guys are even painting vertically like this, right? So what I want you guys to pay attention to, and maybe you can work in pairs if you're working with somebody at your house, if you're painting with somebody at your house, or if you got somebody there with you that can maybe come and eyeball this for you. You're going to do the trace of your moon. And again, as I mentioned earlier, this, if you were to take the middle of your canvas and kind of do this, bring it right to the middle, both horizontally and vertically, it's maybe a little bit higher, can be a little higher than it is. So slightly higher than center, just a little bit, okay? And again, folks, don't stress. I know there's a lot of words coming out of my mouth because you're hearing a whole lot of words. But watch what I'm doing and, base it on both. Pay attention to both. So there's my moon. This is my main moon. In a little bit, once I do this trace, I'm going to come back, take this, lower it, and do the trace on the bottom. So here's what I'm going to do. And remember what I said about this piece right here. We're going to add to the ground. We're going to make it thicker in a bit. So don't worry about that. My lip is a little lower than the edge of the ground as it is right now. Okay? You don't even look at this. Mostly try not to even look at that. Simply look at where the middle of your canvas is, and then put your plate there, and then maybe move it slightly up. Slightly. Here I go. Nothing crazy or fancy about this trace. I'm just outlining my plate. And yes, my background is dark. Does that mean it's going to be a little harder for me to see my pencil line? Of course, no problem. I can see it. You guys at home probably can't see it through the video, but I can see it. Okay? Once I've done that, and I'm not going to do this right yet, I'm just going to explain it before you trace yours. Just pay attention for a moment. I'm going to take my plate, bring it down below. I'm going to touch the edges. The edges of my moon are going to be touching. My reflection edge and the main moon edge are going to touch. What I do want to be careful of is that I don't make my moon over to the right, my reflection over to the right or over to the left. I want it to be as close, as centered to the original as possible. Okay? So let me explain that again. I'm going to actually turn the canvas slightly towards me so that I can get a better view. So I just did my trace. Okay, I went through, traced it. In a moment, when I do the trace for my reflection, two things. The edges of the two moons are actually going to be touching. Okay? And then secondly, I want my moons to line up. In other words, I don't want my reflection to be slightly left of center or right of center to the moon, to the actual moon, because that's going to look off. You're going to be able to tell easily that they don't match up. Okay? So, you do your trace, take your plate, bring it down underneath. If you are painting by yourself, then you're on your own. You're going to be eyeballing it just like I am right now. Okay? You eyeball it, try to line it up so your edges line up. And again, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but you want it as close as you can get it. If you're painting with somebody, have them look at it and help you line it up. Maybe it needs to go to the left a little bit, maybe it needs to go to the right a little bit. Once you've got it, all you're going to trace out is whatever part of your moon you can fit on the rest of your canvas down. Okay? So I'm going to bring this up close, see if maybe you guys can see it. I've got the trace for my moon up on top, and then the trace down below, okay, for the reflection. This I'm going to adjust. The ground is going to be adjusted in a little bit. Okay? So, all right. That's right, Adriana, symmetry. We're talking symmetry right now. Miyoko, yes. Miyoko Zorns asked, will this repeat after? It sure will. We're going to get this, the video is going to be up. Okay? It's going to stay up. So for those of you that aren't painting right now, you're just watching but would like to come back and do it later. Or if you get started with us and then for some reason you have to leave, something comes up, the video will stay up so you can come back and watch it. The nice thing about watching the lives is that we get to all talk and chat. Sometimes you see me drop stuff. Funny things can happen. But when you do the recorded ones, you can back up you can pause it, you can back it up. If I'm going too fast, you can forward it through all the chit chat or through all the pauses and things like that. Okay? All right. How is everybody doing? Let me know with some thumbs up if you're ready to go to the next step, which is going to be basically coloring in the moon. Doing the first layer of white on the moon is what we're going to be doing next. But I want you to see me do it first so you guys can get some steps, some tips on what the best way is so you can keep your moons nice and round. Okay? So start giving me some thumbs up. Let me know you guys are ready to go to the next step. I don't want to be moving too fast because I don't want to lose you guys. Okay? I'm seeing some thumbs up coming now. So, all right, I'm going to let you guys get caught up there, and we're going to do this in just a second. You got it, Penn Schumacher. My pleasure. My pleasure. And folks, I'm sorry if you guys said hello to me earlier, left me a comment. I apologize if I missed it. There were a bunch of comments coming in at one time, so I'll go back through here in a little bit when there's a break, and I'll say hello to everybody. But I definitely appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. So awesome. I know there's people from all over the United States today. Some people from Illinois, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina. I know we got Arizona. I think I saw a couple of people from New York. Of course, we got California in the house. For those of you that don't know, I'm in Southern California, and so I've been doing live in-person paint parties for quite a few years here in California. And actually, I've done some in Vegas, a couple in Vegas, one in Vegas. Maybe it was just one in Vegas. I can't remember anymore. But in Southern California. And then when COVID hit, started doing these lives sometime in, I think it was in April when I started. So anyway, welcome to all of you new people, but I will go back to the comments and say hello to everybody. Okay, you guys should all be caught up by now. What you're going to do next is this. You're going to take one of your smallest brushes. Now take a look at what I've got here. I got two brushes here that I can use for this next step. I got this little liner brush, a little skinny pointy thing. I actually don't recommend using this one for this step. However, some of you may feel more comfortable doing this next step in this. Okay? However, I got this flat brush right here. It's about maybe 1/4 of an inch in thickness. Anything that you have similar to this will do. It could be a little smaller than this. It might even be able to be a little bit bigger than this. But watch what I'm doing first. I'm going to, give me a sec, let me refresh my white here because I've used up a lot of what I've got on my plate. So let me load up on my white again. For those of you that are drinking along, now is a good time to take a little sip. Also, guys, take a deep breath. If you're stressing out about this, just relax. Again, we want you guys to relax. We're having a good time. And that's mainly what this is about. So, time for a little toast, a little sippy sip. Cheers to everybody joining us today. Thank you once again. And this is Tuss making fantastic moons. Cheers. Teresa White from Delaware. Hi, Teresa. Let's see, Kate Horsley. Hi, we are having a cousins get together. We are spanning from Hoover, Alabama to Gainesville, Georgia to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Awesome, Kate. I think we talked by Messenger. Awesome. I was hoping you guys would stop on by and say hello and join. Actually, I was hoping you guys would join in just like you are. Well, welcome to you and your cousins, to all of your family. Welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for joining in. And definitely appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are having some fun with our big group that we've got here today. So here we go, guys. This brush right here. Okay, I'm going to dip my brush right into the white. And this is what I'm going to do. You want to watch me first. You want to be careful. I'm going to take the canvas and point it towards me a bit so it makes this step a little easier for me to see what I'm doing. I can see my outline, right? My pencil outline. What I want to do is I want to stay on the inside of my pencil line, or right above it. This way I make my circle as round, my moon as round as possible. I started doing it with the thick side of the brush like this, with the edge, just the corner of the brush, just barely touching the line, right? So I dip my brush in the paint, and then I can take the corner of the brush, and that's what's touching the line. Okay, I can do that and work my way around. My hand is actually touching the canvas. One trick that I use to support my hand on the canvas is I can put my finger on it. All this is dry, so I can lay my hand right on this. I can do this with my finger, like my pinky, or I can lay my palm right on the canvas and do this. Whatever it takes. What you don't want to do is you don't want to free float this. Free float your hand. If your hand's sitting there like this, it's going to shake. Your hand's going to do this, and you might create a really shaky line. Okay, you want to try to avoid that. So all I'm doing is with the edge of the skinny part of the brush, come around. There we go. All I'm worried about right now is that outline. If some of you have really steady hands, then go ahead and do it free floating your hand. Okay. I know for most people that's something you have to learn with practice. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. This takes a little practice usually. Or again, just use the method where you put your finger right up to it, and there we go. Okay, so I'm worried about my outline first. Once I've got my outline, the rest of this is easy. Okay, there we go. Take a little look at your handiwork. Make sure that Your moon is as round as you can possibly have it. Okay? And then what you're going to do, and you could, for now, you can switch brushes. Once you've got your outline, we're only going to do the top one for now. In a moment, I'm going to come and do the outline for the reflection. Okay? Once you've done the outline, you can switch over to a bigger brush. And I can go with this 1/2-inch brush, or even an 1-inch brush would work. And then you're going to take a bunch of white paint and just fill in your moon. When you start to fill your moon in, it is going to be a little bit transparent, meaning you're going to be able to see that blue of the sky bleeding through. So it's going to make your moon maybe look a little pink. No big deal. We're not worried about that right now, because later on we're going to come back and add another layer of white that's going to intensify how white it is and then make it really nice and bright. Okay? So for now, what you want to worry about is the coverage. Make sure you cover the entire moon in this white. Okay? You can try to even out the paint a little bit. So again, try to maybe minimize how much of the blue you got coming through. But don't stress out. I'm going to show you a close-up here in a moment. Don't stress out. When we come back, after this dries, this layer dries, and it won't take very long to dry because we're working with acrylic paint. After it dries, we'll come back and add another layer over this, and then it's going to get really intense. Maybe it might even take a third coat. But if you guys can see, look at my moon, everyone, holding it up against the camera. It's see-through, right? And it's not even all one even color, okay? And that's okay for now. So that's what I want you guys to do. Once you've done this, then you're going to go through and outline your reflection, and you're going to do this all over again. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes, about 3 minutes to get here. I know this part can take a little while, so 3-4 minutes or so, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the outline for the reflection and the moon, the reflection, the moon and the reflection. Okay, so take your time, no rush. I'm not trying to get you guys to speed paint. That's not what this is about. Okay. I also don't want to go too slowly where everybody, you know, some of you that are a little on the faster side are done and are kind of waiting around. But, you know, it's kind of a happy medium is what we want. All right. So while you guys are getting caught up with that, let me show you guys Wednesday the 19th. For those of you with kids, we're doing our first during the week live event. Okay, Wednesday the 19th. We're going to be doing this cute little panda bear. Wednesday the 19th, I believe the time that I'm going to be doing this at is 1 o'clock is our start time also. I did a poll a few days ago asking what the best times were for some of these kids events, and I got a whole lot of votes for after 12 or after lunch, and I think it was like 1 to 3 or 12 to 3 was the popular time frame, and then I got a whole bunch of like 4 to 6s. So the cool thing about the live is that, of course, if you prefer 4 to 6 time frame, the video is going to be up, and you can always come back and do this later in the afternoon or early evening. But we're just experimenting right now. I am going to be adding more kids events here pretty soon, and we're going to be doing some of those between the 4 to 6 time slot. So it would be like 4 to 5. Something like this will take us about an hour and a half to do, an hour somewhere in there. And I am going to be providing a template for our little panda here. This is an 11 by 14 inch canvas. Okay, so that's what I would recommend you use, but you can use whatever you've got. It's just that the template is probably going to be better suited for an 11 by 14. Actually, I'll take that back. Well, I'll put it in the details for when I put up the event, which should be up sometime tomorrow. Okay? Again, for those of you that are looking for something to do for your children, I know a lot of you are staying home with the kids. I am going to be adding other kids events. We've got this cool little Pikachu that I'll be putting up also, where we're going to be freehanding this. I'll teach you guys how to freehand draw this and then paint it, and then your kiddos will be able to add their names to their painting. Okay? So just little previews of what's coming up. Alrighty. So, you guys should be pretty close to right here. Okay, don't worry if you're not. I'm going to start working on the outline for the reflection. and I'm going to go ahead and start filling it in. If you guys are at that step already, come on and do it with me. And if you just want to watch how I do the outline once again, this is your chance to watch how I do it again. Again, one of my smaller brushes, little rectangular, almost squared synthetic bristle brush. When I put paint on this thing and I push it up against the plate, the edge gets really skinny, and that's what I want. That's what I like. It allows me to make really skinny lines. So for example, if I want to do a little skinny line across my moon, I could use this guy here, okay, the skinny part. That same skinny part is what allows me to paint that skinny line around the edge. Hi Kathy, how's it going? Hi Morgan Vendriesh. Cute, right? Right, Pen? Cute. Awesome. And then Heather Debates Pearson says, my daughter will love both of those. We'll try to be there. Awesome, Heather. Hopefully you guys can make it. We'll see you guys here. And if not, you can always catch the recorded version of it. So here we go. I got down on my knees here. Just come around. For those of you that can't see, I'm actually using the hand that I'm not painting with. It sits on my table. I'm able to put my other hand right over the top of it and help stabilize my hand. Okay, it helps support. It's one of the little tricks that you can use. Place this on the table or on your easel. The other hand sits right on top. Now it smooths out my lines, keeps my hands from shaking. Okay, I can also do that anywhere on the canvas. Let's say I'm drawing something up there. I can take my hand, put it across the canvas, support it against the canvas, and then sit my hand right on top and paint away. Okay, just all kinds of little tricks to help with your painting. And that's why you guys are here painting along today. At least some of you guys are. So there we go. Just did the outline. Came all the way around. There we go. Now I'm switching brushes. Taking some white paint, and this one looks like it's going to have a little bit more blue in it. Because oh no, I thought I picked some blue up with the brush by accident. Alright. And again, watch my brush strokes. What I'm doing here is pretty loose. I'm holding the brush towards the end of the handle, and I'm just loosely brushing this on. I'm not sitting here going like this. You could take your time with it. Watch, when I do it horizontally, the moon becomes a little smoother. The layer of paint becomes smoother, right? If I'm doing it with long brush strokes. You can do that if you want. The choppy, short brush strokes like this creates maybe a little bit more of an effect, like you've got, the moon isn't all one solid white color, right? It breaks up. It's got craters and stuff that you can see at night. They look gray or just a darker, generally a darker color than the rest of the moon. So these little kind of random brush strokes in all kinds of directions create a little bit of that already. And then later when we come back and add another layer to it, you'll still be able to see some of that effect. Okay, but if you wanted a really smooth moon, then yeah, you would just do long brush strokes. You can also do long vertical brush strokes. Okay, but again, this is all loose, nothing fancy. And you see how the two moons are touching. In a little while, when I go to increase the ground, the thickness of the ground, it's going to be right down the middle of the two moons. Okay, you will see what I'm talking about. So work on that. I got about 3-4 minutes. I'm going to be checking my emails here in a second. Let's see, what else can I show you guys? For the kiddos that are going to be painting with us. Got a little kitty right here. Got a little kitty, and again, I'll teach you guys how to draw this by hand. Or I might teach you guys how to actually draw it by hand. Those of you that maybe parents that paint or draw and paint with your kids, usually your art activities together. I'll show you guys how to draw this by hand and then paint it and all that good stuff. Got a whole bunch of others. Details are coming. Oops. Don't want to knock anything over. All right. I'm going to check some emails here really quick, see if I can respond to anybody's requests for the templates. Okay, got a few here. All right. Just got a few here, so it shouldn't take too long. I got 3 or 4 requests right now for the templates. You guys might even have time to cut them out before we get to that spot, right? So if you feel like you can make it, please do so. Otherwise, you can just add those later. All right. Let's see. There we go. All caught up. All right, everybody. Let's talk about a little raffle as you guys are painting along there. Let's talk about a raffle or a drawing for a painting. For those of you that are interested in participating in this, I'll explain the rules here in a little bit. When I explain the rules, please listen closely to the rules. Okay? One of you is going to win a painting from me. Okay? Let me show you the options. Show you the options that we got. Okay, let's see. A whole bunch of you guys have been participating in this with me, and it's been pretty awesome. All right, here are the options, okay? I'll explain the rules after you see the options. The winner is I'm gonna mail you, unless you're close enough to me, where I can drop it off in person. The winner is gonna get to pick from one of these paintings that I'm showing you right now. And this is the first option. Okay, there's one. Okay. Number 2. Okay, cool little blue teal cowboy boot turned into a flower vase. Number 3, yes, some of these are paintings that we've done here on some of the lives. Okay, so and then you guys, for those of you that would like, can go back and do these with us on the recorded versions. That was number 3. Here's number 4. Cool little beach scene with a couple of hearts and a couple of dandelions. And then, what is that? Number 4. This is number 5. Okay, you guys will get you'll be able to pick from these paintings. Okay, one of you is going to get one of these delivered to you either by me directly or via FedEx or UPS. Not sure which. Here are the rules. Okay, please listen closely. I will repeat these later. Very important though. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to post a picture of your painting. But you have to tag Painting with Jesse. So in other words, the painting that you make today, when you're done with your painting, cutoff is midnight tonight. When you're done with your painting, you're going to post a picture of your painting, and then you're going to copy Painting with Jesse. Okay? And you're going to say something nice about your experience. Hey, I had a lot of fun with Jesse. This was awesome. I did a step-by-step with him. Whatever you want to say. Me and my daughter, me and my kids, me and my cousins, etc., etc., etc. Had an awesome time painting with Jesse. He does these live step-by-step tutorials that are free on Facebook. Something along those lines, right? Change it up however you'd like, as long as you're saying something nice. That's all that matters. But you have to tag my page. In other words, people should be able to link from your post. They should be able to link back to me. Back to the Painting with Jesse page. Once you've done that, once you've tagged me in your post, once you've posted it, tagged the page, you want to message me at Painting with Jesse directly. You want to say, hey Jesse, I shared your page with my painting. This way I can go back and either see it, I can see it, but mainly it allows me to know who has shared the page. Facebook doesn't notify me every time somebody does. I'm not sure why it doesn't. So I do sometimes miss some of your, when you guys do that. So you guys need to message me so that I don't miss it, okay? You guys can do this on Facebook or Instagram. I'm also on Instagram under Painting with Jesse, okay? I'll repeat the rules later, but that's the gist of it for now. We'll talk about it again in a little bit. All right, here we go. Okay, so you guys have two moons. You got your main moon and you got the reflection in the water. What I want you guys to do right now is this. Take a look at your painting, okay? The background and the water mainly. Is there anything where you need to touch anything up? Can you see some white coming through of the canvas? Now is the moment to go and fix that. Not so much the streakiness in the water. We can add more of that later. But for now, in the sky, mainly in your sky, any of your canvas that's bleeding through that you want to maybe touch up, now's the time to do it. Okay? In this next step, what you're going to do, I want you to watch me do this first. I'm going to show this a couple of times, and this can get a little bit messy. Some of you may want to, if you're on an easel, you may want to take your painting, put it flat on your table so that you don't get paint all over the place. I'm going to explain this a couple of times, like I said. I'm going to give you guys a little time to play with this. You're going to take a brush like this one here. This one's my half-inch brush. You could use your inch brush, you could use a quarter-inch brush, doesn't really matter too much. We're going to create the stars in the background. We're going to create those stars. And I'm sure some of you guys already know how to do this, and for some of you, this is going to be a brand new thing. Okay? So, all these little stars were made by me doing this with my brush. There's going to be a little bit of wet paint on here, and then I come up to the canvas and I do this. When I do that, or I can do it with either finger, I can do it with my other finger from my other hand, I'm going to get all this paint splattering out onto the canvas. Okay? You want to practice first. Before you do it on the canvas, you want to practice first. You want to practice, let's say, on a separate paper plate. Okay, a spare plate that you've got, or piece of paper or whatever. You want to practice first before you do it on the actual canvas. But here's how we're going to do this. You're going to take some white. Don't need a lot, a little tiny bit. You're going to take your mixed plate. You're going to find a spot on your mixed plate that doesn't have any paint on it. Okay. Now I'm going to take my brush, this brush right here. I'm going to come over to my water cup. I'm going to dip it into the water. Okay, I have a little bit of water in there, right, on my brush now. I'm going to do this. Dip it into the water. I'm going to take that water and mix it in with my paint. Yes, my water in my water cup is a little bit on the light blue side. It's up to you if you want to get fresh water to do this with. Your stars will be a little bit brighter. If not, no big deal. What you don't want to have is runny paint before you do this step. Let me explain that. Okay? You're going to add paint. Once you add water to your paint, you're going to hold up your brush, your plate, like this. You're going to hold it up sideways. If your paint starts to run down your plate, it's too watery. You're going to want to add a little bit more paint. Okay? So you do not want runny paint for this step, otherwise you're going to get runny stars. Let me repeat this process again, okay? Here we go. I'm going to repeat this process. I'm going to take some white paint. I'm using my half-inch brush here, but anything close to this will work. You can use a smaller brush, you can use a slightly larger brush. On my mixed plate or on a spare plate, I'm going to come over, I'm just going to drop that white paint right there. I'm then going to take my brush, I dip it into my water cup so that I get some water in the bristles of my brush, right? I can even get a little drop like this, a little droplet of water that goes into my paint. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to water down my paint. What I don't want the paint to be so runny that it actually runs down the plate, right? And I test that by holding the plate up like this. If I hold it up like this and I see water droplet coming down, I add more white paint. Okay. Once I've got my paint like this, where it's not runny, but it is a little, you know, I've got some water in there. I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to do this. Hold it up against my canvas. This is where it can get a little messy, so be careful. You don't want to go up too high or too far away from your canvas. You're going to get paint all over the place. You're going to get paint next to the person, onto the person next to you. You just want to do this. You want to start pulling back the bristles, right? You're flicking it. You're actually just flicking droplets of paint onto your canvas, and this creates a bunch of little stars throughout your canvas. You can make as many of these as you want, and they will vary in size. Some droplets are going to be really small, some are going to be a little bigger. Okay, load up, do it again. Doesn't matter if you get some droplets in your water, that's okay. I don't have too many in my water, but if you do get a few in there, that's okay, because your water can reflect starlight, right? Some of the stars in the sky, maybe you're reflecting in the water. Okay, as much of this as you want to do is up to you. If you want to have a whole bunch of stars in your sky, well then, do this a whole bunch of times. A little bit of this paint goes a long way. You don't need a whole lot of paint for this step. But again, you might want to practice on your plate first, so that you're not getting, you'll see, you'll be able to tell. If your droplets are small or big or whatever, if you're too thick on your paint, it's going to glob. It's going to shoot out really big globs of paint onto the canvas, and you want to avoid that, right? You don't want those gigantic globs of paint. But again, you're going to do this as much as you want. Every time my brush starts to run out of paint, I come back and do it again. There we go. And if, you know, of course, you can get splatters on your moon and your water a little bit. No biggie. Just, you know, try to keep it off your face, out of your hair. There we go. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to bring that up close to the camera. And you can add a lot more if you want. You can make yours super dense. You can make yours maybe yours has a few less stars than I do. That is all entirely up to you. So work on that for just a little bit. And I'm going to try to lighten things up in here a little bit. Get a little more light in here. Great. Now my neighbor can see what I'm doing. Just kidding. Opened up some of my shutters to get more light in here. Noticed it was a little on the dark side. All right, everybody. So we got about 60 devices on right now. I think earlier we had about 70 or so. A lot of people jump in to just kind of see what's happening, right? But I definitely appreciate those of you that are here painting along. So go ahead and work on your little stars, okay? Does anybody have any questions about this process? Okay, sometimes, let's see here. Sometimes some people find that step, you know, maybe their globs are too big, or they're getting little comets. Look at some things that look like little comets and stuff. Don't worry about it. It's all going to work out, okay? Promise, it's all going to work out. But for those of you that are painting here for the first time, oh, Kathy Kempen, yes, I'm sorry, I can definitely do that. Let me do a side view. So what I do is this. Great question. So I'm going to go ahead and load up my brush again. And I can do it with one hand, right? I was doing it with two hands earlier, but I can do it with one hand. I just go like this. I can do it long ways like this. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Maybe I can't do it with one hand. So all I'm doing with my thumb in this case. Well, hopefully you can see it on the camera there. Like this. Or I can do it with the brush like this. Same thing. Okay? Or like this. I do it up close. Right? I can do it close. Every time you flick, you're going to get some paint on there. And again, if you run out, load up. Get some more. And do it again. I'm going to go ahead and do it again in case anybody missed that. Thank you guys. Yeah, any suggestions you guys have, or if you guys have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Don't be shy. Don't be shy in the questions. I want to hear what you guys are. If you guys can't see something, if you guys want me to repeat something, here's my finger. Right, whoops. That had a lot on there. Good. So all I'm doing is this. Ooh, now I'm making the Milky Way, it looks like. Cool. Thumb. I can do it like this or like this. Okay. You guys just made the Milky Way right there. How cool is that? Of course, this is random, right? There's a random element to this that you can't control. You don't know exactly where the droplets are going to land. It's just part of how this works. Kind of cool part of painting is often there are a lot of random steps that create some really cool effects, and you can't control every single part of it. Okay, so there we go, just like that. Okay. Adriana says, "This is so fun. I can do this all day." Awesome, Adriana. I know it can. For those of you that are really new to painting, you know, you're here for a reason. You know, it attracts you. You want to give it a try. Some of you might be your first time, and if any of you are on here for the first time, please let me know. I like to see that. If you're painting for the first time, or maybe you haven't painted since you were a kid or whatever, please let me know in the comments. You know, I like to see that. I like to hear when people are painting for the first time here with me. But yeah, if you're here, you're attracted to painting, you want to try it. Maybe you're not necessarily painting along, but you're watching. Yeah, painting is fun. Any creative endeavor, whether it's sculpting, painting, woodworking, whatever, I think there's a therapeutic effect to it that's really enjoyable, and most definitely painting is just fantastic. It's amazing. A lot of fun to do, and most definitely worth spending some time on it. Whoop, and I hear my phone ring in the background. Sorry about that. It's on silent. Anyway, folks, I think it's time for a little toast. We're also going to be doing a little drink word here, a little drinky drink word. Whatever it is that you're drinking. Hot cocoa, if you're in a cold area of the country. Don't know where that would be right now, but I'm sure there probably is. Maybe Alaska, parts of Alaska, right? I'm sure there's other places. Anyway, wherever you are, whatever you're drinking, tea, a little bit of a lemonade, maybe a harder drink, a mixed drink, whatever it is you're drinking. We need a little drink word. Every time we say a particular word, I say a particular word, you have to take a little sip. And I think what that word is going to be is moon, going forward, okay? Our moon, that's our word, little drink word, okay? So to that, cheers to everybody that's joined me today. Again, thank you so much. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves, and cheers to everybody. Cheers, Rebecca. Awesome. Let's see, who's Dreama? Hi, Dreama, you're here for the first time. Okay, fantastic. Let's see. So cheers, everybody. Let's see, Punima, can we paint the moon fully white? Absolutely. So you will be able to paint the moon fully white. And that's going to actually be our next step. We're going to add another layer of paint to the moon. Concepcion D. Barita says, here for the first time. Welcome, Concepcion. Awesome. Welcome. Ariel Betancourt says, I already painted a Milky Way galaxy today. Yep, and you shared your painting with me. Thank you. You did. Awesome. That was fantastic, actually. So Dreama Pritchard says, here for the first time. Helen Haro. Hi, Helen. You and Jocelyn are drinking Gatorade. All right, cool. Gatorade. Chelsea Rupp says, nothing, unfortunately. That's okay, Chelsea. Next time. Christy Zavatur, I think is how you pronounce that. Sorry, guys, if I mispronounce your names. Christy Zavatur says, I live in Alaska. Well, hi, Christy. Welcome. What's the weather like where you're at right now? Just curious. Eula Browder. Put a little emoji of the moon. Pretty cool. Kathy, what's up, Kathy? My sister-in-law, how's it going? In Yuma, Arizona. And then Eula Browder Streamwood. Okay, cool. Let's see. Yep, Kathy Campen says Benjamin and her are here for the first time. Awesome. Of course, welcome guys. Smita Giri, first time. Awesome. Krista says she's drinking hot cocoa. Good. See, I guessed it. Awesome. Let's see. Amy Brown says here for the first time from Vermont and having fun. Fantastic. Welcome, Amy. Adriana's drinking Moscato. Woo, good choice. Good choice. All right. And then she adds, on my second glass. Slow down, Adriana. Slow down. All right. Awesome, guys. Okay, and Christy says it's raining in Alaska. Okay, cool. All right, Chelsea, for sure. For sure. All right, everyone. So, you guys are right about where I am on my painting, right? You got the moon, you got your reflection, you got your sky, you got your stars all up. You got a little bit of water down at the bottom. What you're going to do next is you're going to add another layer of white to your moon. We want that moon to get really bright. All you're going to do is take straight white, add another layer of it over the top of both. Okay, and what you're going to see is that moon's really going to start to stand out. Okay, now watch this, just kind of see what that looks like. You can even make this layer a little bit on the thicker side. I'm not going to worry so much about my edges just yet. I'm going to come in here and just add a bunch of paint here to the inside. So what I was talking about earlier is all those random brush strokes in different directions that I used to add to on that first layer. When I add this second layer now, you're going to be able to see some of that coming through. So it's going to look a little bit more like a moon, like our moon with the craters and stuff. Just the variation in the colors that you would see at night when we've got a full moon. Okay, just a little bit. And I do want that. Now if you don't want that, maybe you want just a purely white moon, then you want to paint in one direction, either horizontally or vertically, even brush strokes all the way across. That will help make your moon a lot more solid looking, a lot more one even color. Okay, and again, that's up to you. Your choices, folks. When you guys send me your pictures, or if you guys look at all the pictures that I receive from people that I post, you'll see everybody paints something different, and it's awesome to see. You'll be pretty amazed at the paintings at the variation in the paintings that people make. We're all looking at the same thing. We're all kind of following along with the same steps, but everybody's mind has a slightly different interpretation. Also, of course, physical ability, the way you hold your brush, all of that stuff will play a big factor in that. But yeah, whatever choices you feel that are right for you, please make those. I'm more than happy to see that creativity. I encourage it. And then also, I have not mentioned this yet, but I would like for you guys to send me pictures of your finished product. When you're all done, if you guys could send me pictures, I would love that. I share those with on my social media, both Instagram and Facebook, and it gives everybody that participates a chance to go and see what everybody else does. And again, you will see a big variation in outcomes. So please make sure you guys send me pictures. Send them directly to the messenger on Painting with Jesse. And then I do share those. Like I said, I post them up. If you guys could send me pictures of you in them. If you've got a group of people painting with you, if you guys aren't shy, you guys want to include yourselves in the pictures, even better. I love seeing those. So please send me pictures of your finished products. I want to see your masterpieces. All right? Anyhow, so again, now what I'm doing here is I'm adding another layer of paint to my moon. Right? Now the moon is a lot brighter. Now the reflection is a lot brighter. And we can add one more layer still, and this effect is just going to be that much more intense. Okay, so and again, if you're looking for it to look super even, don't worry about it for now. We might, if you decide to do one more layer, I'm going to do another layer also. Okay, I am also going to be doing another layer. Now I can come around and worry about my edges. I'm just kind of touching them up a little bit. Making sure that I've got that second layer also going all the way out. And again, folks, earlier I was mentioning about not free floating your hand. I'm mostly talking for those of you that are newer to this. This can take a little bit of practice to just simply free float your hand like this and paint even lines, curved lines, straight lines. If your hand's a little shaky, no big deal. If you had a little coffee, a little too much coffee this morning, that can happen. Happens to me sometimes. But this free floating method just takes a little practice. Your hand, this takes a little bit of a sturdier hand. Once you get going, though, you want to commit to your brush stroke. The more slowly you move, the more likely your hands are going to shake. So both, once you commit, you go. Okay, that's the same with straight lines, curved lines, etc. Commit to it and you go. All right, let's see. Stacy Brow Mead, my mom Eula, friend Alma, and my first time painting with Jesse. Great time. Awesome, Stacy. Glad to have you guys here, you ladies here. I appreciate it. Glad you're having a good time. Teresa White, Pear Pinot, yum. All right, my computer's all the way over, not too far, it's a little over. So if it sounds like I'm struggling to read what you're saying, I think I need glasses now. Lisa Mann, hi from Adamsburg, Alabama. Hi, Lisa. Adamsburg, Alabama, correct. Hi, Lisa. Welcome, welcome. Again, if you guys happen to just be hanging out and just watching, absolutely welcome. But if you guys want to join in, this video will be up once this main broadcast is done. The live broadcast is over. I will upload the video, and you guys can watch it whenever you want. Okay, you guys can also go back and watch it again if you'd like. Okay, you can do this more than once. So work on that a little bit. In a moment, we're going to start on our tree. Okay, in a moment, we're going to start on our tree, and then we're actually going to go into the making our ground a little bit thicker, and then the tree, and somewhere after that, we're going to be doing our bears, putting in our little bears. Okay, so, but awesome. Let's see. D. Byers says, first time painting with you from Ontario, Canada. Welcome, D. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Let's see. All right, cool. I don't think I've missed anything except for maybe, I know I missed a whole bunch of comments at the beginning. All right, work on that for a moment, guys. So let's talk about those rules again. So, for those of you that share my channel, let's go about those rules. When you share the painting that you're doing with me today, when you share it on your social media, you're going to post your painting, right? Today's finished product. Cutoff is midnight tonight. You're going to post your finished product. You're going to say, hey, I painted along with, and then you tag my page. In other words, you hyperlink it. You tag it like if you would tag a friend, right? How do I describe it? You basically tag it so that when somebody reads your comments, they can click on my name and I'm painting with Jesse, and then it'll take them to my page. Okay. Once you've done that, once you've shared the post, when you say you're going to say something about the event, about your experience with me, make sure you message me at Painting with Jesse so that I know you shared it. If you don't message me, I might miss it. I may not see it. I may not get the notification from Facebook that you shared it. So please don't miss that crucial step. I feel bad when people message me saying, hey Jesse, I shared it, what happened? And but they never message me. So again, you want to message me. Options, here we go. Options once again. This cool little hummingbird painting with clouds and really brilliant paint in the background. I actually have some neon paint on this, so this glows under black light a little bit. Okay, there's that one there. And then there is this one, little beach scene, with a little glitter in it, a couple of hearts and dandelions. Okay, these are all paintings that we've either done here live or I've used them for some of my paint parties, my in-person paint parties. Here's another little beach scene that we did here on my page. The video for the tutorial on this is available for those of you that would like to do it. And I know this is a pretty popular one, seems to catch a lot of people's attention. There's this cool little cowboy boot with flowers, and it's got lots of glitter on it. Okay? All right. And then lastly, we got this cool little, this hot air balloon. Here near Hemet, there's a town called Temecula, and they have a lot of wineries and stuff. And every year they have a balloon and wine festival. It reminds me of that. We don't have too many pine trees around here, but this reminds me of that. I know there are some around, but up in the mountains, they're more in the mountains, which isn't too far away from here either. But anyhow, this is a cool little hot air balloon painting you can pick from. Okay? So again, those are the options. Now, folks, this is all. I cover the shipping to anywhere in California. Anywhere in the United States. Okay? I will cover shipping. You get the painting for free. Somebody's gonna win it. I'll pull the name out of a cup tomorrow. But I ship it anywhere in the United States. For those of you that are joining us from Canada, if you guys happen to win, we'll talk. We'll talk. All right. Okay, guys. Here we go. Here we go. So, next step. So, the same brush that I was just using, this 1/2-inch brush, I'm going to clean it up a little bit because it's got paint on it. If you have one that's already clean, or you have one that you can use, doesn't have to be the same size, could be a little bigger, could be a little smaller. I'm just cleaning it up enough by swirling it around in my cup and just taking off as much of the paint as I possibly can. And then I'm going to use a paper towel right here to wipe this off, just like that. Now, I'm just going to take this dark blue paint, just like this. Whatever paint you got, as long as it's darker than your sky and darker than your water. It can even be black if you want. Okay, it can be whatever. It can be brown even. But I'm using this dark blue. And what I'm going to do is I'm just increasing the thickness of the ground. I'm going to do this on both sides, and it's curved. If you guys notice, this is a little bit curved. Now, if you guys did yours straight, that would work. No big deal if yours was straight across. But I'm going to go ahead and make mine curved. Now, this is approximately against my 16 by 20 inch canvas, so 16 inch high. This is about 2 inches, could be 3, could even be 3.5 and 4, and it's all going to work. Okay, so give me a sec. So on mine, this part right here is going to be covered in glitter later. When we add the glitter, I'm going to be covering that up in glitter. Here's what it looks like on the original for those of you that are looking for comparison. Okay, there's the original. Okay, so in a moment, I am going to take this blue and go across the center between the two moons. Wait for me before you do that. So on the edges, I'm going to increase the width a little bit. So from the thick edge like this, it narrows down a little bit. So again, I'm just increasing the width on the edges here a little bit. So again, it's thick, goes narrow, and then it gets a little thick once again. All right. There we go. Just a little bit. So the dark blue is just for this. Who's asking that? Punima. Hi, Punima. I think it's Purnima. Sorry. Hold on. Let me look on this one. Yeah. Purnima. Yeah, it's just to darken up the ground here. You can add a little black to it if you'd like. Actually, you can even do that. You can take a little bit of black. Okay. Find a spot on your mix plate. Mix it. Again, this is just an option. You can take a little bit of that dark blue and mix it with a little bit of the black. We do this. This is going to darken up that. Actually, I like this. I like this color a little bit better. So I just took a little bit of black and a little bit of blue, mix the two together to make a really dark blue. See, you can pivot at any time. Change it up at any time. There we go. This is a little bit darker. I like this better. So again, all I did was took a little bit of black, mixed it with my dark blue, and then did this. Went over the area that I already had. Okay, just like that all the way across. Now, I need everybody paying close attention to this part. So here's where it can get a little tricky. Watch this. We've got the reflection of the two moons, right? What you're going to do is you're going to bring this across like this, right in between. Then you're going to go ahead and connect the little landmass all the way across, so that it covers a little bit of each moon. Okay? Now I'm going to take the painting and I'm going to turn it in my direction a little bit so I can make sure I got the right angle and such. I'm painting over from the side, so that can be a little tricky. I'll turn it over in just a moment. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oops. Don't want to knock that over. All right, Teresa. Yeah, good choice. It's a pretty popular one, the little cowboy boot. Lisa Mann says, I love the hummingbirds. Awesome, Lisa. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the same color and I'm going to come over and do this to the sides. You don't have to. It's just something I sometimes like to do. I like to wrap around. If I got something like this landmass that's going across from one side to the other, I often will wrap it around the edge or the side of the canvas. It's just a cool little effect, I think, but certainly not necessary. Okay? Do it if you think you'll get, yours will look a little nicer that way. Okay. Everybody with me here? Give me some thumbs up, letting me know if you're with me. Christine Hubbard. Great idea. Christine Hubbard said, made the suggestion when we were talking about sharing my page. She said, or you can do a check-in and it will tag his page. Just check in with Painting with Jesse. Fantastic idea, Christine. I like that. If you guys could do that as an option, that would be better, actually, I think, because it's easier that way. Okay, so if you struggle at all tagging my Painting with Jesse page when you share your painting, just go to my Painting with Jesse page and check in. And then, for sure, your post will tag me, will have me tagged in there. Okay, cool. So I saw a bunch of thumbs up. Okay, it sounds like you guys are ready to go to the next step. Okay, what I want to do next then is work on our tree. Okay, so everyone take a look at this. And don't worry about, so I got all this little grass, these little grass blades on top, right? And then in the reflection as well. We're going to add those later, so don't worry about that for now. We're going to go ahead and make our little tree right now. And I'm gonna put my tree over on the right hand side. But if you guys want, you can put your tree on the left. Up to you. Maybe your tree is a little further in, right? That could work too. But if you notice, we've got the tree up above the ground, and then we got the reflection in the water. So that's what we're going to work on now. So I want you guys to watch me first. Okay. Sometimes trees and branches can be really tricky because the biggest thing that I tend to see is people will make them too thick to begin with, and that can create a problem. If they're too thick and you want thinner ones, it can be problematic. It's harder to fix a thick tree than it is to take a skinny tree and make it bigger. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to take a little brush. So really quickly, once we do the tree, we are going to come back and do one more layer of paint on our moon, okay? And there is our little drinky drink word. So, looks like I got a little paint on my cup here a little bit ago. Anyway, cheers everybody, salud, and little sippy sip. All right. So, the same brush that I was just using a moment ago to make the ground, I'm going to use for my tree. Because it's got dark blue in it, I don't need to really clean it up. It's going to mix well with the black paint. I'm going to take some of my black paint. Okay, and here's what I'm going to do. If you have really thick paint at any point, if it dries up a little bit, or if it's just kind of thick and difficult to work with, find a spot on your mix plate, bring that over, dip your brush in your water cup a couple times, maybe bring some of those droplets of water over. That extra water, just that little bit of water will make your paint flow really nicely. Okay, so just like that. And then what you're going to do, watch what I do here. I'm not using the thick part of my brush. I'm going to use the skinny part of my brush. Okay? Skinny part of my brush. And I'm going to go like this. So my tree actually extends all the way from the top and it goes down to the bottom. Skinny line. Okay? Skinny line. Let me show you what the original looks like so you know what we're shooting for. And again, don't stress about making it exactly like mine. This is what you're kind of aiming at. But this eventually is going to look like this. And I start with this really skinny line. As I mentioned earlier, it's a lot easier to work with skinny lines first and make them thicker as we go than it is to start with really thick lines and then decide, oh no, I should have made my tree smaller. Okay? This is kind of where you want to start. Okay? So from here, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create the tree's thickness. Okay? And all I'm doing is I'm still using the skinny part of my brush. Okay, I'm holding the brush here. And watch again, I'm holding it close to the back. I'm not doing this really close to the front of the brush. Not necessary. This creates a more of a loose brush stroke. Also, this is a little more relaxing. If I'm here doing this, it just makes my whole body a little more tense. Okay? So nice and loose. Don't stress too much about this. Here we go. So I thicken this up. My tree trunk actually goes all the way to the edge. My tree goes all the way to the edge of the canvas. Right? So I can kind of do this. I fill all this in like this. There we go. And then I can just bring this all the way up. I'm going to straighten out my canvas here in a second so you can see what I've done. Get up so you can get a better angle. Okay, look at that. Nothing fancy. Thicker at the bottom, gets skinnier as it goes to the top. And your tree could be a little bit thicker if you want, could be a little more curved. Right, something like that. Trunk goes right into that ground. Okay? Okay. So work on that for a little bit. Making little slight adjustments as you go. Next thing you're going to do, you want to mark off where your trunks are going to be, where the branches are going to come off of our tree. So I'm going to have a branch right there, skinny line for my branch. And then maybe I'm going to have one right here. Just marking off the spots where my trunks are going to be. No, not rocket science. Just pick a couple spots, make a couple little lines where those branches are going to extend away from your tree. Okay? Let's see. All right. So, right here, I'm just going to connect this branch to my tree. There we go, just like that. And you notice I'm not going all the way out to creating all of my branch. I'm working at this one step at a time. So then, maybe this branch up here. Stay skinny, folks. Stay with your making skinny brush strokes for now. You can always come back and add thickness later. You can go super skinny if you want. And we're going to add little tiny skinny branches to all this and leaves and stuff. For now, we're just making, we're slowly building our tree up. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this brush that I'm using now and I'm going to switch it for a slightly smaller one. Since we're starting to make smaller branches and stuff here in a bit, I want to switch, and this is my little 1/4 inch brush. Okay? So I was using the 1/2 inch brush, this is my little 1/4 inch brush. Anything you guys have that's similar to this is all you need. Nothing fancy. Alright. From right here. Right about right here I'm going to come. Now I'm going to go ahead, skinny line. I can extend this out as far as I want that branch to go. Okay. Again, as I mentioned earlier, once you commit, go. You don't have to go super fast, but don't go too slowly, because if you go slow, if you're like doing this, trying to be too careful, you will shake. Just commit to it and go. Okay? I know easier said than done. You can also practice on a plate. You can grab a plate and go, hold it up against your canvas. Not with paint on the other side. You don't want to get paint on there. But practice on a plate. Go. Curve, go. Okay? That's where you're going to get your little practice in. But overall, don't stress. Take it easy. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. And then go. So this one here, so this branch right here, I want it a little bit thicker, so watch what I do. A little bit at a time. Okay? And I'm using the skinny part of the brush. We're building a little bit over time. Skinny part of the brush. Okay. Little by little, little by little. Now, I'm going to have another branch that comes out this way. Okay? So it's going to be longer than that, but that's how I'm starting it. Then I'm also going to have one right up here. Okay? Let's go ahead and touch this one up right here. As I get to the end of my branch, watch what I do. I pull my brush away and lift at the same time as I'm pulling. What that does is it helps create a skinnier point. I'm going to do the same thing up here, so everybody take a look. So again, I'm going to describe it as I'm brushing across. As I get to my point, I'm pulling and then I pull away from the canvas at the same time. It helps make my brush stroke, my brush line a little skinnier. So here we go. Up, oops. Pull away. Okay. Something like that. I'm going to give you a little bit to catch up on those. So look at what I've got so far and make your little adjustments. I'm going to give you guys about 3-4 minutes to work on that. I'm going to raise up my laptop a little bit so I can see it better. At least I think I am. Take your time with those trees, folks. Again, no rush. Take your time. Work your way from skinny to big, or rather from skinny to thick. You're going to be all right. And then again, everybody's trees are going to look a little different. Okay? In a moment, we're going to be switching over to a smaller brush, a skinnier brush, so that we can make some of those nicer lines, the little tiny branches, the little leaves, that kind of thing. Okay? So keep working on your trees there. And then, folks, really quickly, for those of you that would like to support my page, okay, for those of you that would like to donate to my virtual tip jar, I'd like to say that I'm your art tender. Okay, I'm your virtual art tender. I've got a Venmo, I've got a PayPal, and I've got a ZELLE. Okay, there's my info. It's also in the description for the live, and it'll be up once I have the live up, on the page after we're all done. You can always go back and look at the description. The information's on there. But for those of you that are able and willing, whatever you'd like, you can donate to my Venmo, PayPal, or ZELLE. It helps me continue to make these. Not that I'm stopping or anything like that. I love doing this, but it just helps support the page and me a little bit. So anyhow, that's for those of you that would like to help a little bit. That would be fantastic. Whether it's $10 million or $1, it's all good. Of course, I would prefer the 10 million by a little bit. Okay, in case you're wondering, in case some of you might question that. But anyway, folks, so here we are, right? Got our little trees and branches, but let me show you the original now so you guys can take a look. Little tiny skinny branches that we're going to make next. Okay, we're going to make those little tiny small ones. Nothing to them, nothing fancy to them. Don't overthink it. Just look at them and go, oh, they're just little lines. That's all they are, little lines, right? Skinny lines. And then we're going to add in our little leaves, and I want you guys to notice not all the leaves connect to a branch. They're floating a little bit, right? Some of them actually touch, like here, but some of them are just simply free floating up in the sky, almost like they're about to blow off from the tree. Actually, we're going to add some down here. We're going to add some little leaves down here. I did this in person a couple of weeks ago at an event here where everybody was social distancing, they had their masks on, etc. But and somebody in the group did some leaves down here. It looked really cool. So we're gonna add some little leaves down there. Liked her idea. So okay. But anyhow, to make some of those branches, let's switch over to really skinny brush. Okay, little tiny brush, little tiny skinny liner brushes that I got right here. So again, I'm taking a little bit of black. I'm dipping my brush into the paint just a little bit. This is going to be we're going to be making some really skinny branches. So I want to add plenty of water, but I don't want runny paint. So always check by holding up your plate and doing this. If your paint starts to run down your plate, you've got too much water in there. Okay, little trick. So here's what I do with my liner brush. Whatever brush you're using, if it's small like this, when you dip it into the paint, as you pull away from the paint, you can spin the brush and the point gets really skinny. That's what we want. Really skinny point on that brush. So what I'm going to do, simply right here or anywhere along your big branches, you're going to make some little tiny ones. Okay, little skinny branches here. And let's see, maybe we're going to have one right here. Let's see, right up here. We're going to have one, let's see here. Just going to extend this out a little bit. This big one. Then maybe right here we have a little tiny one that kind of pops out. If you notice, there's really nothing to it, folks. I mentioned at the very beginning, if you mimic what I'm doing or try to mimic what I'm doing. You're going to get similar results. As long as your paint is similar and your brushes are kind of similar, you're going to get similar results. If you have a little skinny brush like this, and you come over and your finger goes on the canvas, nothing to it. And like I mentioned, commit. As you get to the outer point, or as you get to the end of your branch, pull away from the canvas. Okay, pull away from the canvas, and that's going to help everything look really skinny, really pointy. Now, as far as the leaves go, let's see. I'm gonna make one over. We'll make one here too. What the heck? As far as the leaves go, nothing to it. Almost like little teardrops. And I mentioned they don't have to touch your canvas, or they don't have to touch the branches. Okay, I'm going to try and do this up close. Let's see if I can hold the canvas and do some of these leaves at the same time. Did I say leaves or branches? Leaves. I'm making leaves now. So, right here, we're going to make one right here. Look what I do with my trying to make sure that you can see it on my camera, that it's in view. So here we go. Watch what I do. Okay. We'll make another one right here. Keep in mind, these are going to be covered up in glitter. Okay. At least mine are. Yours don't have to be. They certainly don't have to be. Here's some more. One. Okay. Look at that. Okay. Some more up here. In a moment, hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to throw on a little bit of music. Got to keep it nice and soft so I don't trigger the Facebook algorithm and they try to get me for copyright infringement. Okay, so again, some more right here. I think it's time we need get some music going in the background. You can add in as many leaves as you want. Everybody's painting is going to look a little different. Whoops, and there we go, got to fix that up. Everybody's is going to look a little different. So don't stress too much, again, that yours doesn't have as many leaves as mine, or they're bigger than mine, or they're smaller, etc., etc. We're not stressing over that. So I'm going to leave this here for just a second. Actually, maybe I'm going to add one more little leaf right here. A couple of them, free floating. Oh, and I'm going to go ahead and maybe, you're not going to be able to see them too well down here, but they're going to be down here on the grass. And when I cover them up with glitter, they're going to stand out. So just a few that fell to the ground. The tree looks kind of barren because maybe fall's coming. Fall's already here and some of the leaves are already falling. Okay? No pun intended. Fall is here and the leaves are falling. Alright, let me see if I can set up some music here. But again, it's got to be nice and soft. You guys get about 5 minutes here to finish off your trees. If you do finish, go ahead and do another layer of white on your moons, okay? If you're done with the tree, I'm going to go ahead and do that myself right now. I'm going to add another layer of paint to my moons to make them nice and bright. Stand out quite a bit more. Is there anybody that's being a bit shy that has not said hello yet? Please say hello. Or if you haven't had a chance to say hello, maybe you jumped on a bit late. Please say hello, and don't forget, folks, please mail me. Well, message me. Not mail me, message me. Pictures of your paintings, preferably with your group, with your children or your spouse or whoever the heck you're painting with, your family, your friends, so I can see you guys. Pretty cool. If not, you want to send me pictures of your painting, that's okay too. Message me directly on Painting with Jesse. But if you send me pictures, I'll share them. I'm going to be sharing those. Unless you tell me, please don't share it. It's just for your eyes, and I promise you I won't. But, part of the fun is that I get to share your guys' pictures. Layer of paint right over the top of your moon. Again, as soon as you finish with your tree, you want to do this. We are going to do a reflection of the tree in the water in just a bit, so keep working on your tree though, for now. As mentioned before, this third layer is going to make the moon really stand out. That's what I want. Also want to do to the reflection. There we go. Liking that. So the schedule for the rest of the month, everybody. I mentioned the event on the 19th for the little panda for those of you with children. You don't have to have children. If you want to come and paint the panda, you can. Wednesday the 19th. More than likely it's going to be sometime in the afternoon, right after lunch. Probably 1 to 2, 1 to 2:30 maybe. I'm going to have a little template for the panda. That's on Wednesday the 19th. But I am going to have at least one more event before the end of the month. Likely it's going to be on the 29th. I'm going to try to squeeze one in on the 22nd. The 29th is a Saturday. I'm going to try to squeeze one in on the 22nd. But stay tuned for that. Not so sure just yet. But then September is going to have, I'm going to have at least 7 events in September. So be on the lookout for that. What's up, Miyoko? How are you? How are you? Welcome. Thank you for being here with us. Let's see, did I miss any comments? Going back to my comments list. So again, as you guys finish the tree, as you guys finish your leaves, go ahead and add another layer of white paint on your moon, and then in the second, we're going to do the reflection of the tree in the water. And essentially, it's just the same, it's the opposite. It's the mirror reflection of this, right? So you're only going to see part of your tree. And I'm going to do it here first. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that too much. I'm just explaining it right now, okay? It's going to be the reflection of this part of the trunk, about this much, whatever you can fit into the bottom, into the reflection. So this much about. Again, we'll do it together. And I did say moon, so guess what that means, you guys? It's time for a little toast. To all of you joining in, excuse me 1 second, I need to get my drink ready here. For all of you joining me today from all throughout the United States, Canada, and who knows, I'm not sure if there's anybody here painting from any other countries, and that would be fantastic. But for all of you painting with us today, thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your Saturday with us. Hope you're all having a fantastic time. To awesome, amazing paintings. Cheers, everybody. And Get my little music playing in the background. At least I think right now it's a fail. Okay, what's happening? What's happening? All right, let's see. Hello, Edith. How are you? Amanda Fitzsimmons from Minnesota. What's up, Amanda? How are you? Hope you ladies are enjoying yourselves today. Thank you for joining us. Okay, everybody. So, tree needs a little reflection. That shouldn't take us too long. Same brush that we were just using for the tree. A little bit of black. And I seem to be out of my black, so let me grab a little bit more. So it doesn't take too much for this step. Too much paint. Whoops, I'm gonna pour out a little too much there. All right, we'll get to that later. We'll get the rest of that back in the bottle a little bit. So I'm going to turn the canvas towards me just a bit. Right about here. Again, I'm doing the mirror reflection of our tree in the water is all this is. So I'm carefully trying to match up the curve in the opposite direction, and then I go ahead and do this. Again, nothing fancy. Don't overthink it. Just like that. So if it curves inwards towards the edge, curves inwards towards the edge of the bottom, okay? So let's get that in there. Again, if you haven't yet, go ahead and do one more layer of paint on your moon. Very important. And we're about ready to paint our bears, to trace in our bears. Awesome, Amanda. Glad to hear. Love having you on, so thank you. So in a moment, we're going to be tracing out the bears, okay, just a little bit. So we're kind of getting prepped for that. Again, you're going to need a pencil, so make sure you grab yourself a pencil. You might need a Sharpie. It's up to you if you want to outline your bears with a Sharpie to make it easier to maybe stay within those lines or right over your pencil lines. You can have that. Otherwise, we're going to be outlining it with a brush, okay? So get your pencils ready in just a moment. In about 2 minutes, we're going to start working on those bears. Make that 3 minutes. Starting now. Countdown. Just kidding. Let's see. All right, everybody. I need you guys all looking up here. This is very important. When I explain this, you want to watch me do this first. Okay, I want you guys to watch what I do, and I'm going to explain this a couple of times. So we all ready for the bears? Actually, first, let me know, are we all ready for the bears? Give me some thumbs up. We're ready to do outline. Give me some hearts, actually. Give me some little heart emojis telling me that you're ready. Okay, here's mine to you guys, all of you. All 52 devices that are currently on. I don't know if my finger can move fast enough to get all 52 hearts out there fast enough before you guys start to throw your emojis in there. This goes to all of you that are joining me today. Okay, those hearts are for you. I want you guys to send me the little emojis, the little care emoji, actually, or heart emoji, whatever. If you guys are ready to do your bears, okay? Good, awesome. Seeing a lot of you. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, let me line up my canvas once again so you guys can see all of it in its entirety. There we go. Cool. And I'm going to adjust one of my lights so that got these little studio lights that, there we go, perfect. Okay, so everybody that traced out their bears should have 3 bear sizes. Got the big Papa or Mama bear, whatever, right here. Okay. Here's what I'm going to point out first. You're gonna do your trace, and when you do your trace, you can place your bear right on top of the edge of your ground, or you can dip it down a little bit into the ground so that you don't see the feet so much, right? I would recommend that. This is easier to do it this way. It's easier for you to do it with the bear dipped down into the ground a little bit. So here's the comparison. Give me one sec. The comparison, what I'm talking about is this. Your bear could be right on top of the edge of the ground, right? Like that, where you see all of its feet. Or it can be dropped down a little bit into the grass where you don't see all of its feet. You just see part of their legs, That's actually a little bit easier and actually creates a cool little effect. But I leave that up to you, okay? Your bear could be here. Your bear could be on the other side. Maybe it's coming out to greet big brother bear or big sister bear or mama bear. I know quite a big disparity between Papa bear and Mama bear. Or it's coming out, it's hanging out with its little cub, right? This is Mama bear and she's hanging out with her little cub, right? Up to you wherever you want to place your bears. But wherever you place your bear, when you do the trace, when you do the reflection of it will have to match the same depth. So if you have your bear with its feet right on that edge, when you do the opposite, that bear, the reflection also has to be right on the edge. Okay? So let's say, for example, that this bear is like this. Its feet are way down into the ground. When you do the opposite also has to be the same. So as much bear as shows up above ground has to show up above ground in the reflection. I'm hoping that makes sense, okay? Yeah, you can absolutely do all 3 bears. If you wanted to do all 3 bears, right, you could do, as long as you've got space on your canvas for it, you can do 10 bears if you have space for 10 bears. You can do Papa bear and a whole bunch of little bears. You can do Mama bear and a whole bunch of little bears, or Mama, Papa, baby, 3 babies, 4 babies, up to you guys. That's up to you guys, all right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and trace out my bear. If you are painting with somebody's there with you, or maybe they're not painting with you, but they're around where they can come over and give you a hand, I would recommend they give you a hand. So you can hold your bear, your template, while you trace it. So the templates all have an eye. Don't worry about the eye. We don't have to trace that out. Up to you if you do. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to trace out the eye. So my bear is going to sit right here. Again, you choose wherever you want your bear to be. So the trace is nothing fancy. I'm just going around. Doesn't have to be a perfect, exact replica of the trace. Just get all the important stuff. It's feet. You know, you don't even have to get all the little tufts of hair. Those can be added in after the fact. So, but all we're doing right now is going through and tracing. All we're doing again is going around and tracing. Full nose. And then take a look at it. Make sure you got all of them. You might have to play with the canvas a little bit to see if you're doing it in pencil. Whatever's missing, just you can fill it in, or you take the trace and put it back in and do it again. Might have to be a little bit darker, but make the adjustments that you know you need to make. So there's my first bear. What I'm going to do next is trace it with, not trace it, but outline it with paint. Now, I mentioned, for those of you that have really thin markers, you can use a thin marker. There's these Sharpies that are really skinny that you can go around and outline in that. Okay? It's not necessary, but it can help you. I'm simply going to take my liner brush, little skinny liner brush. Right? Same brush that I used to make the tiny branches up there and the leaves. And I'm going to take a little bit of water. I add a little bit of water to some black paint. And away we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stay right on top of my pencil lines. I don't want to go outside of them. The bear's going to get bigger. So I try to stay right on top of them as much as possible. Yeah, you're going to move around a little bit. Your hand's going to shake a little bit. You're going to possibly go outside your lines here and there. No big deal. Take your time. I've got a lot of practice with this, so I can move a little bit more quickly. If you notice, I'm not sitting there worried too much about all the little tufts of hair, as I mentioned earlier. I can add some in, but I'm going to add them in. I can add some in as I do this outline, but I can always go back and add them in once I've got the outline done. And I know it's going to be difficult for you all to see what I've got. I'm going to bring it up close to the camera. And there's the outline. Okay. Once I've got that, I go ahead and fill it in. And just like what we did with the moon, it's not going to be completely solid on this first pass. Your intent here should be simply to do one entire layer of paint, complete layer of paint, and keep in mind you might have to come back and add another layer over this. No big deal. Switch to a smaller brush wherever things start to get hard with your big brush. So let's say I'm going along with my big brush and I start to get to some of the small parts like the feet. I take my big brush, or my bigger brush, switch it out for one of my smaller ones, and then use that. Now, in a moment I'm going to do the reflection. And I know, folks, for some of you that are doing more than one bear, it's going to take you a little while. If you're doing 3 bears, 4 bears, 5 bears, I know some of you, I think some of you mentioned they might be doing somebody said 6 bears or something. That's going to take you a little bit longer. Don't stress out. Take your time. Do one at a time, right? If the event finishes, the video finishes, and I'll tell you when it's over. When it finishes, I'm going to let you know, hey guys, it's we're done here, blah blah blah. You can continue working on your bears, adding more bears. If you're only done with 3 of them, let's say, then you just continue on your own, following these same steps. But do watch all the steps now. I'm going to do another bear or 2 here in a little bit, so you have them all down, so that when you're doing this on your own, once you've got a couple down, you're going to know exactly what to do on your own. Okay, so don't stress if you're doing, a whole bunch of bears and we're finishing up and you're still not done. Don't worry about that. You're going to be able to finish them. Okay, so just want to throw that out there so that nobody's going, oh my God, I got 10 bears and Jesse's only going to do 2. Don't stress about that. So once I've done the outlining, come in and add some little tufts of hair throughout, wherever I feel I can add some hair to my, these are grizzlies, by the way. I'm making them grizzlies. You want to make yours brown bears or black bears or maybe polar bears if you're in Alaska. Wait, polar bears don't, wait, do they live in Alaska? I think they're part of Antarctica. No, they are in Alaska. Anyway, some of you guys let me know. Polar bears are, I think, are in Alaska, maybe Antarctica. I'm not so sure. But too many sips of my Capri Sun. There we go. Okay, so just added some little tufts of hair to my bear, and we're good to go. You can add some on the feet, on the, etc., wherever. What we're going to do though is this. What I want you guys to look at is the reflection once again. So I want to have as much of the bear showing in the reflection as shows in the actual the bear outline itself, the original bear, right? The actual bear. So because the feet, I can't see the feet. The feet are in the ground. In other words, are they're not right on top of the edge of the ground. They're a little bit lower like this. I want to match my reflection, and you want to match the angle and stuff. You don't want one bear doing this and the other bear doing this, right? You want them to kind of, they're exact opposites of each other. Okay, so once you've got that, pull this guy back a little bit. Remember, work with somebody. Whoever's there with you can help you a little bit, eyeball it a bit. Here we go. Doing the trace for my reflection. All the way around. All right, got my reflection in the water. Let's see. What's going on, Ashanta? How are you? Let's see. Who else is on? Who else is on? Let's see. There's watching Lydia Monday when I get home. All right, Lydia, no worries. Lydia says she's going to paint it Monday when she gets home. No worries, Lydia. The video will be up. So I've got my reflection in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the little trace, or the outline, sorry. Traced it out. Again, using my hand, placing the right down on my table, using it to support my painting hand. Go all the way around, come down. There we go. Look at that. All right. Not too shabby. then of course we fill that in. Being careful that I don't go over my edge there. Nice and easy. Take your time. Switch over to a smaller brush so that I can get into those smaller areas. And the reflection, you're going to make it just as dark as the original image. So on the we're going to have grass. We're going to put in some grass blades with the same dark color that we have on the ground, and it's going to cover up some of the feet. You're not going to be able to see a lot of the paws, etc., but you are going to be able to see some of them. So make sure you actually do the traces in the grass. A little bit. A little bit. Actually, hold on. Give me a sec, guys. I'm going to hold up the original in a second so you guys can all see what I'm talking about in comparison. And so I can also look at it and go, wait a minute. I'm thinking the grass blades are going to cover up the feet. So here we go. Check this out. Don't worry too much about the feet. The feet are going to be covered up with glitter and or paint. If you're adding glitter, they're going to be covered up. You can also use the paint to cover up some of the feet. It's almost like thick, really thick grass that they're walking across, so their feet aren't totally visible. So anything that goes into the grass, you don't have to really worry about too much. You have to worry about the trace above that. Same thing with the reflection. Okay, you guys all see that. So there's glitter all over this, but you can also do the same. If you're not using glitter, you can do the same thing with the paint. Okay? Just want to point that out. It's okay, Helen. As I mentioned, okay. So Helen's bringing up a question. She says, Jesse, I don't know if it's just me, but there's a section where the two moons meet that no matter how much dark blue paint I add, it's still white coming through. Okay, so let me ask you, Helen, has it dried yet? Okay, if you let this dry, when you add another layer on top of that, your moons should disappear. I guess it also depends on the type of paint you're using, but if you notice, like on mine, you can't see the moons coming through anymore. Okay, but yeah, it might take you a couple of layers to paint, 2-3 layers of paint to do that, to where you cover up the moons entirely. However, get as much of it covered up as possible. If you're going to be using glitter, that's also another layer over that you're going to use to cover that up. Okay. So at some point, you should be able to cover it all up. Again, but it also depends on the type of paint that you're using. So maybe I don't want to generalize too much, but yeah, for the most part, you should be able to pretty easily cover up any white coming through here in the center. All right. Okay, so we got one bear and his reflection. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the little guy. I'm going to do my little guy here. Trace him out. Same idea. Okay, don't want him. I personally don't want to see his paws, his feet. Oops. So because I'm making that conscious choice that I want him to be a little bit lower into the ground, I drop the stencil down just a little bit. Okay. There we go. And then I'm going to bring him down to the other side. I'm going to turn this towards me a little bit. Okay, there we go. So I've got the outline of the little cub, and I've got the outline of the actual cub on top, above the water, and then the reflection. So I'm just going to go ahead and do them both kind of together. Here's one outline. Oh, his little feet. I missed the little, sorry, his little legs. I missed the little separation in between. Make sure I get that in there. Actually, no, I don't need it because his body, his feet are down into the ground low enough where I don't see the separation between his 2 feet. Everyone take a look for a moment, for those of you that are newer to painting. So I accidentally, with the trace, brought some of the black paint to an area of the canvas where I don't want it. So I've been trying to use, there's different ways to fix this. I can remove it by using a little bit of water on a paper towel. I could use it. I could say, well, how can I use that? Maybe I can make the cub a little bit bigger. His little torso maybe sticks out a little further. His little butt sticks out a little bit further. So I could possibly use it that way. But, so I look at it, I assess it. Not sure if you guys can see it. There's a little extra paint right there behind. So further back than it should. I'm just going to take a little bit of water, lightly damp cloth. And then I lightly, because the paint is really wet, that black paint is still really wet, I can easily remove it. But you want to do this gently, because if you go too hard, you will remove some of the blue paint in the background. So there we go. Okay, I mentioned earlier there's almost nothing that can't be fixed. So if you haven't yet, folks, please make sure you guys like the channel. I really would appreciate your support there. It helps me grow the channel. Also, it helps with the Facebook algorithm. The more people that like it, the more likely they are to share it with others that have similar interests to you. So if you haven't yet, if you could like it, don't do it now, right? You're painting along with me. I don't want to lose you. Please be sure to like the page, not the channel, but the page. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. For those of you that have already liked it, thank you so much. But definitely, also, if you want to recommend this to your friends, the more the merrier. I think these live sessions are always going to be a part of my channel going forward. So, I mean, I could always do pre-recorded ones where I put those up. I record them, edit them, and then put them up. But I think these live sessions are a little more fun. I can interact with some of you guys, and sometimes things get pretty hilarious in the comments. But yeah, let your friends know, let your families know, hey, check out this guy's page. And then some of you guys will sometimes send me like recommendations of what you would like to see painted on here, and I try to take your recommendations and include them. If I think it's something that's universal that lots of people are going to enjoy painting, absolutely. I don't want to go and make an exact replica of somebody else's work because, I don't want to take other people's ideas. But if you find something that you like and you send it to me, I can always make my own version of that, a modification to it, where I'm not going and using somebody else's exact idea to paint and teach you guys how to paint. So, but anyhow, if you do find stuff that you like, send them to me. Or maybe you want to, I think Adriana has asked me about a giraffe a few times. And a giraffe is coming. We're definitely going to be doing a giraffe here. Kind of like what we did with Bessie. And then there's other farm animals that we're going to be doing. I'd like to add a little pig. We're going to do a little pig. We're probably going to do a rooster or a chicken. I mean a hen. A horse. Maybe a goat. In the same style as what we did with Bessie. So, a lot to look forward to. Got a whole bunch of ideas floating around my head. More ideas than I do time, so, but a lot of those ideas are definitely going to come to fruition. I'm going to be making lots and lots of videos. As I mentioned earlier, in September, I'm planning on doing at least 7 events, at least 2 or 3 of which are going to be for kids, but I'm looking more towards like 8 or 9 events, and just a lot more fun projects for people to do. In the future, I might be incorporating other things as well, painting on wood, on the wood slats, on pallets, things like that. Making little designs on maybe on furniture that you've got in your house that you can repurpose or revitalize by adding some cool little art to it. You know, there's all kinds of stuff I'm going to be doing. So if that interests you, please follow along. Like the channels, like the page, so you guys will get the alerts and stuff like that. So, somebody said, an ostrich. Oh, Lisa Mann, yeah, sheep. There we go. Tracy Marvin says lions and tigers. Oh my, that sounds good. Yeah, definitely. A rooster will be fun. A lot of fun. But Claudia Barragan says an ostrich. That would be cool too. Definitely. An ostrich would be fun. But anyway, yeah, send me your ideas. And again, it's better if you send me pictures of stuff that you like. I'm gonna go, oh, okay, yeah, and I can modify it, like I mentioned, to suit what we're doing, but also so that we're not going and taking somebody else's idea. Okay. So anyway, folks. So I've got 2 bears, and I got my little cub. Hanging out behind my bear. So I'm going to give you guys some time here to work a little bit on your bears. Again, I know a bunch of you are making quite a few more than I am. Okay, I don't want you stressing out and going, oh my God, you know, he's going to finish, and I'm not done. Again, the bears part, once you've done a couple, the rest is easy. You can do a lot more of these, right? You can come back and add a 3rd one or a 4th one or whatever. Just keeping in mind that your reflections should match. The reflections are going to basically match each other, right? So just be aware of that. That's probably the only tricky part. Wherever your bear is, it's going to be like that on the other side. Okay? And then, so in a little while, we're going to start working on the glitter part of this. For those of you that are going to be glitter. We're going to be adding some blades of grass in here. Blades of grass in that, down in here. So all you're going to do for that, and that'll also help you cover up if you happen to be able to see some of the moon coming through the paint, or if you are able to see the bear's paws in there a little bit, you can cover them up. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about that step. If you're still working on your bears, watch me doing this and maybe even paint with me right now. You can always go back to the bears. The bears by now should be relatively easy, right? Nothing fancy there. So a little bit of black paint, a little bit of my dark blue paint. Okay, And I'm going to use this small brush to make all these little tiny grass blades. Some of them stick out where you can see them above the ground, but others you don't see them. What you do to the top, you're also going to do to that bottom. Okay, you can also add some to the inside. Oops, got to charge up or plug in my computer, my laptop. If I lose the power there. So grass. For those of you that are using glitter, this is going to be covered up with glitter. Okay, some little grass blades sticking up, peeking up over the top. There we go. In a moment, I'm going to switch over to a smaller brush. Look what I do with where the paws are, right over the top. Just adding more paint right over that. A little more paint here. If some of you aren't going to be adding any glitter and you guys are deciding, okay, I'm done, please make sure to not forget to send me pictures of your paintings. If you would share those with me, I would be super, super happy. Send them to me via Messenger on Facebook. So watch, guys. All I'm doing in here, again, if you need to make this a little thicker, just come in and add a little more paint. Especially if you're able to see your moon coming through. I'm going to turn this towards me a bit so I can have a better view. And then if you're going to be adding glitter with me, we're going to add that together in just a few moments. Got to explain that, especially for those of you that have never used it, or maybe maybe you don't have some right now, but you're going to pick some up. You can always add the glitter whenever you want. The last step. Okay, so I'm going to take we're not talking about glitter just yet. I'm just going to come in here and add some more of this little grass in here. We got this, folks. We got this. Nice and easy. I know we're pretty far into the painting. You guys are painting along with me. We're almost there. We're almost to the end. Don't give up on me. And if for whatever reason you want to do this again, come on back. Watch the video all over. Looks like we're down to about 40 devices, which either means some of you finished because you're not doing glitter, you maybe had one or two bears, or maybe you're going to come back and paint some more later. Maybe you say, whoa, this is taking a little longer than expected. And it happens sometimes. Paint fatigue. It happens. can always come back. Anyhow, as you guys are leaving, please make sure you guys say goodbye, and if it's your first time, please don't make it your last time. Come on back. Like I mentioned earlier, we're not having an event next week. We're for sure having one on the 19th. So next Saturday is what I mean. We're not having one next Saturday. We're having a kids event on next Wednesday. Little panda bear. And then I am for sure having something on the 29th, although I haven't posted that picture up yet, what we're painting yet. And then we're possibly and likely having one on the 22nd. So 29th for sure, 19th for sure, and then likely on the 22nd. But I'll post that up. And then September is going to be filled up with all kinds of cool stuff. All right. Yes, Jennifer, she sure did. So my sister-in-law painted on one of those wooden TV trays, TV tables. What are they called? TV table trays? What is that called? Yeah, she did this really awesome. She followed along with what we did on a canvas. She painted it on a table, and it looked fantastic. Mubin Sultana says a tulip field. Yeah, that would be pretty. Rachel Marvin says maybe some otters. There we go. That's a good idea. I like otters. Those would be cute. Jennifer Lopez says I flicked some glow-in-the-dark paint in my sky. There you go. Getting fancy there, Jennifer. Woo! And then Ariel Betancourt says my mom and I added glow paint in our moons. Hi, Marilyn. How are you? Yeah, I'm sure it looks pretty awesome. Make sure you guys send me pictures. Okay? Don't forget. Make sure you don't forget to send me pictures. Okay? So I'm going to let this dry for just a little bit, and we're going to let you guys kind of get caught up. If you guys notice, I added grass, right? We're going to talk about glitter in a little bit. Okay? We're going to be adding glitter. So giving you guys a little time there, a little time to get caught up. I made a little bit of a mess with my black paint, so I got to... Actually, what I did is I poured a little too much out onto my plate and put some back into my bottle, because I'm going to need that later. And then don't forget about the drawing, the raffle, if you share my picture, your painting. Check in. I like that idea that Christine says. You can check in on my page, and that's probably the easiest way to tag your post. You go to my Painting with Jesse page, and at the top it should say, check in. You check in, and then I think you can also upload your picture at that point. But if you happen to be able to tag me on your page, perfect. Sorry if that blew anybody's ear out. I think it was a few weeks ago we had Beth Eliza wearing headphones when she was listening to the live, and the buzzing from my phone, because I hadn't put it on silent mode, it was kind of interfering with her ability to listen. I was pretty loud in her ear. But anyway, in a little bit we're going to talk about glitter. Okay, we're going to talk about that glitter. And then once again, folks, for those of you that have donated, I've had quite a few people donate over the past couple of weeks when I started this. I really do appreciate that, and I hope I haven't missed anybody. I think the only way I would have missed anybody is if somebody sent it to the wrong, maybe sent it by accident to somebody else, somebody with a similar Venmo or PayPal or Zelle. Zelle's probably not likely because nobody has that phone number. But for those of you that have donated, I really appreciate it. Definitely, and I messaged all of you. If I didn't message you, it's because I didn't see it might have gone to somebody else. Again, I don't think that happened, but just in case, if you didn't get a message from me thanking you, just understand that's what likely happened, unless I somehow would have missed somebody's donation. But I kind of doubt that, because especially with that, I would really, really feel bad if I missed anybody. But so if you happen to be able to donate, and you do, just be careful with the way you put in, the information. For Venmo's easy, Jesse Mendivil at Painting with Jesse. PayPal, paypal.me at /Painting with Jesse, all one word. This part right here is all one word. I think here's where you can mess up. If you do painting in space with space Jesse, it only does painting, and so that's somebody else completely. But anyway, for those of you that can and are able and would like to help support the page and these videos, there's the virtual tip jar up for you, okay? And again, the information's up on the description of the video. It'll be up afterwards as well when the video gets uploaded, so you can come back and watch the lives. All right, everybody, here's what I'd like to do. Send me some hearts if you're ready to talk about glitter. And again, even if you're not done with your bears, and I totally understand that a lot of you may not be, don't worry about that step. The glitter part is easy. You can add bears after we add glitter, so that's not a problem. But give me some hearts if you guys are ready to talk about the glitter. All right, seeing some hearts come up. I saw like 30 of them come from Ariel Betancourt. However, Ariel's a little bit impatient. Let's use that word. So I'm only going to count those 30 hearts for one, Ariel, okay? Because I know you're just going, come on, Jesse, let's get on with it. I know. I'm just messing with you. So these are the glitters that I normally use. The glitter brand is Deco Art from Craft Twinkles. For those of you that don't have any that would like to pick some up, I get these at Michael's, and they're something like $2.50 or so. But if you get them with one of those 50% off coupons, well, it's a big savings. Also, you can always get them when you have their 20% off. And that'll help. But anyway, so I've got some crystal glitter here, some gold glitter here. Okay, this is basically glitter floating around in glue. All right, nothing fancy to this. But a couple of things. If you're new to using glitter, you want to make sure that whatever brush you use is relatively clean of any wet paint. So before you dip your brush into the glitter, you want to clean your brush up a little bit, right? Kind of swirl it around in your water cup. Take a paper towel, and my paper towel is pretty much shot here, but you can find a spot where I clean up the brush a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfectly clean, but you do want it to be relatively free of any wet paint. Okay. Also, the areas that you decide that you're going to put glitter on, you want to make sure that those are nice and dry. Okay. You don't want to be adding this glitter to wet paint because it'll cloud up the glitter and it won't look as nice. Okay, let's see. Let's see. New flamingos, yes, otters. Test otter, make sure you got it. Okay. So Jennifer's saying that she tested $1 when she sent me one of the donations. She sent me $1 first, and it popped in, and then we tested it that way. So yeah, that was a great idea. Okay, so really quick, folks, on the glitter. Here we go. So I'm going to use a little bit of this this crystal, and I could put it in the moon. Okay, I can put it right into the moon if I want, or I'm just going to go ahead and add it to my little bear here. And I should be using a slightly bigger brush because I'd be able to move a little faster. So all this is, again, is glitter floating around in this glue. Adriana is asking, okay, did you get my donation? Hi, Adriana. You know what? I'll check. I don't recall seeing anything from you, but I'll check. I'll check in case I missed anything. I will definitely check. I know we were talking. I think you had mentioned PayPal, possibly sending something to PayPal. I'll check. Okay, so taking my glitter, going all the way through. when you guys send me something through PayPal or Venmo, you will see my picture. You'll see me. You'll see Painting with Jesse. You'll see my picture with. I think I'm instructing somebody. It's a picture taken from a in-person event where I'm helping somebody paint, or I'm holding up a canvas or something like that. Anyway, you'll see my face in there, but it'll say Painting with Jesse. Both Venmo and my PayPal are like that. So I've covered all my bear up with this pearl glitter. Check that out. It's a little wet, and sometimes it's a little hard to see when you're standing right directly in front of it, but when you hold it at an angle, it sure does reflect quite a bit. So you can do that to both the reflection as well. I think that would look pretty cool. I didn't do it on the original, but why not? Coming through and adding it on the reflection. And then I'm also going to do the little guy, the little cub. You could do this in gold glitter if you wanted. You could do this in blue glitter. I'm picking this crystal stuff because I like it. Crystal's a pretty awesome glitter color. So just going through. And then you could layer this also just like you do the paint. If you want your glitter to get really, really dense on your bear, let it dry a little bit, maybe just like 5 minutes, and then add some more right over it, and boom, you get super, super glittery bears, or whatever it is you're adding your glitter to. This is already pretty dense as it is, but when we did the mermaid a couple of weeks ago, we added glitter to the tail, and some of you guys, I could tell, did two or three layers of glitter, and because it really, really stood out. So Mubin just asked, we missed the bear's eye. So remember, I think at the beginning when we started doing the trace, I wasn't worried. I was a bit worried about making the bear's eyes. You can, if you want, you can add the eye. Simply take a little white dot of paint and put it right where the eye would be. You can even, once it's all dry, you can even take your bear, put it back onto your canvas, take a little dot of white paint, put it right where the eye is. Okay, but that's. Thank you for calling that out, Mubin. But yeah, definitely up to you if you want to do that. I don't have an eye on either of my original or my new one, this painting that I'm making now. But if you want to add one to yours, absolutely, please feel free to do so. All you would do again is take your little trace, maybe poke a hole where the eye is, or or simply come over with your little tiny liner brush and dot an eye in there. All good. Put it right in there. All right, so we still got about 38 of you hanging out. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Fantabulous. Hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday with me. I like to paint. I've been drawing since I was a kid. I got into painting I dabbled in it a few years ago, like maybe 10 years ago. I started to dabble here and there, but I didn't really get going with it till about maybe 7-8 years ago is when I really started to paint, and I started with oil paint. I like to say that I'm self-taught because I mostly kind of learned on my own, just experimenting. And you will learn a lot by experimenting. It'll be frustrating. It can be frustrating, but it's all part of the process. Your brain, with any of this stuff, your brain starts to adapt to it. Even if you're not good at it at first, or if you don't like what you're doing at first, keep going. You got nothing to lose, except for maybe a little time. But if you stick with it, you will improve, guys. You will. You will. There's no way you can't. And for those of you that are new, first timers here with me, there's people on here that have been painting with me since before I was doing the online stuff. They've been painting with me at some of my in-person events, right? My in-person parties. Some of you have painted with me 10 times. Some of you have painted with me 15 times if you count the lives, or 20. I don't know, maybe 20 is too many, but there's some of you that have painted with me quite a few times. And for those of you that are just starting, I've seen the difference, and I'm sure you guys have noticed it also. You get more comfortable. You can look at a painting and go, oh, I know how I would approach that. I would do this first, then I would do this, and this would be done like this, and I would use this brush for that. It's like anything else, you learn as you go. You learn with experience. So for those of you that are new, even if you're struggling a little bit today, please don't freak out and come back, do it again. You can come back and do this painting again, okay? Tracy Marvin says, haven't painted since elementary school. This is so much fun and it gives us family time that we enjoy. Fantastic, Tracy. Thank you for that comment. I really do appreciate it. That is awesome. Lisa Mann says, I can't make the reflection tree right. Okay. Lisa, so if you look at it like this, don't look at the ground. Don't look at the ground. Simply look at your tree. Draw a line right down the middle, and just imagine there's a mirror, and you're doing so that it curves in towards the edge. Up here, it's going to curve towards the edge, the bottom as well. All you really have to worry about is this line in the front. Okay, the lines in the front. And you're only showing a very small part of your tree. So if whatever space you've got in between here and the edge of your canvas, take your finger, actually here, take your fingers, go like this, bring that to the top. This much of tree is what you need to be showing down there. Okay, so again, whatever space you've got here between this edge and so between here where your ground, the bottom edge of your ground is, and the bottom down here is, bottom edge of your canvas, simply take your fingers, go like this, use them like a ruler, and go like this. This amount of tree is what you're going to be seeing down here. Okay? Again, nothing too crazy, nothing to it. Sometimes, just simply take a breath, take a little step back, and just go for it. Okay? So yours is longer because it's branches too, and that's what I can. Okay, no worries. All right, I got you. So in other words, you can see some of your branches, some of the branches that you've got up here, you can actually see them in your water because your ground is a little higher up. I got you. So leave that alone for a little bit. Okay, step away from that for a little bit. Maybe glitter, maybe look at, if you're going to be doing glitter, maybe make adjustments to your other stuff, and then come back to that. Leave that alone for a little bit. Sometimes you got to kind of let your brain refresh a bit. You get kind of a tunnel vision, and that can make it tricky. So leave it alone for a little bit, come back to it, and try it again. Okay? Teresa White says, thanks so much, Jesse. My husband, who is a stroke survivor, has woke from his nap, so I must go and tend to him. Really enjoyed today. I look forward to another time. Thank you. You are awesome. Teresa, my absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining today, and I definitely hope you come back. If you didn't get a chance to finish, the video will be up, so you can always come back and watch it again, okay? Just start it from wherever you left off. Jennifer Lopez says, I had to paint over my tree reflection. I'm waiting for that part to dry. Yeah, Lisa, definitely. If you need to paint over the reflection, you can. I know it's black paint, but check this out. So really quickly, for those of you that need to do any erasing, removing any of your paint, let's say that I wanted to, maybe I'm not happy with my reflection, and I need to remove it. Take a paper towel, take a little bit of water. Don't make it drippy, just take some water, and of course my paint is all, my water's all wet. You can remove acrylic paint after it dries. See this? Now if I did this tomorrow, it may not work as well, because it does, even though the surface part of the paint is dried, what's underneath isn't dry yet. That usually takes a few hours to completely dry. So all this that you touch right now feels dry, but underneath it's actually still a little bit wet. So Lisa, you can do this, okay? You can take all the paint off of whatever you don't like. If you need to, do another layer of the water paint. Same colors that we use for the water, go ahead and reapply those. Wait for that to dry and then work on your reflection again. Maybe one tip, my water is wet. Did I say my water is wet? Yeah, yeah, that is a good thing. Otherwise, it wouldn't work any other way. Make sure that I don't even know what I was saying. Your paper towel has water in it, and that it's not soaking. You don't want it soaking wet. You want it damp. Okay, if you got paint, if you got water dripping off of it, it won't work as well. Or you'll get paint all over, drips all over your table art, all over your floor, etc. But you see that, Lisa? So we remove paint from there. You can go ahead and paint over that again with the blue, right? Just mix a little bit of the blue color from originally. Let that dry. Give that before you start working on your trunk. The reflection of the trunk again. Let that dry for a bit. I'm going to go ahead and add my water in there now. Wet water. I think that's how that works. Actually, unless it's frozen water, huh? I know that's called ice, but it's technically still water. So that wouldn't be wet water, huh? So there, Ariel. So there. So okay. So I just went ahead and added more paint right over that. Okay. Maybe, Lisa, what might help. So if you have any tracing paper, okay, now listen to this part right here. If you have any kind of tracing paper, paper that you can see through, tissue paper, anything that's not going to tear, place your paper right over your original tree, right, the tree on top, trace it out. Everything that you can see, trace it out. Then flip that over, right? And I know this is a little complicated. If you don't have any carbon paper, you can take some carbon paper first, place it on there, and then take your trace, put it right over that, outline it, and you'll see the reflection perfectly. You'll get a perfect reflection. What you can also do is take your tracing paper, trace it, cut it out, or at least the important parts, cut that out, flip it upside down, and then trace it out, just like what we did with the bears, okay? Too much wine, Adriana. Yeah, I think so. Too much Capri Sun. I'm drinking Capri Sun. Yeah, comes in a bottle. But I'm drinking too much of that. Sandy Gray Podmoroff. Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. You're very welcome, Sandy. Thank you for joining today. Okay? Thank you so much. And again, everybody, this goes out to all of you guys. And I'm sure, I am positive, without a doubt, that at some point I said moon and you guys didn't drink. So, a little bit. Well, it's getting later. You can drink a little bit more if you'd like. A little Capri Sun from my little Capri Sun bottle. Cheers to all of you that are joining me today. I really appreciate it. And I hope you're all having a lot of fun. In a moment, I am going to do a little bit of glitter in my leaves, and then a little glitter here on the ground. Okay, so that is next. Cheers, though. Salud. Okay, so gold. I have some gold on my plate there. I'm going to take my little liner brush this time, my little skinny brush, the one that I used to create the leaves in the first place. And I'm just going to dip that right into the glitter and go right over those leaves. I can also add some to the tree if I want, to the actual branches, to the trunk, all that good stuff. But I'm not going to do that. You can if you'd like. And again, for those of you that don't have any glitter, you can always go pick this up at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, etc., etc. Please, folks, I'm asking you guys to send me pictures of your stuff, okay? And of your group. And not necessary, that's not a must. It's not like I'm going to ban you from ever painting with me again. But I'd love to see what you guys create. I want to see your masterpieces. So I mentioned earlier that I was going to be adding some of the some glitter, some leaves down on the floor. Because it's a dark floor, you can't really see them, but I'm going to pretend that I have a few little leaves down in here, just hanging out. Fell off the tree. They're about to get stepped on by our little bears. Okay, just a few. There we go. Now, lastly, what we can do, and then maybe this step, maybe save the step, this right here before, if you decide you're going to add glitter to this area right in here, maybe save this step for after that. So I'm going to take some blue paint, blue glitter, too much Capri Sun, a little bit of blue glitter, and we're going to add some. Let me find the right stuff here. So this is a different glitter that I'm about to use. This one's a little bit thicker, bigger flakes. This one's also a little bit more expensive and usually not as fun to use. This one, this brand is, let's see, hang on. It's covered up a little bit. By Folk Art. I picked this stuff up at Hobby Lobby. Bigger chunks of glitter. Okay? And I'm just going to take a relatively big brush. This one's a 1/2 inch. Again, clean it up a little bit. Clean it up, clean it up, clean it up. I'm going to dip it right into the bottle so you guys can see. Look at that, look at that. That is some thick blue paint right there. So I'm just going to take this, or thick glitter, just going to do this all the way across. This one creates some pretty cool effects. Trying to go around where I added my gold, the little leaves on the floor. I'm afraid I'm going to have to take those out. I'll add them later. And then so we've got grass blades, so I want to add those, a little bit of glitter over those, and then also I mentioned to you that because this stuff is pretty thick, whatever glitter you use will work the same or close to the same. When you add this over where the paws are, you don't have to worry about the paws being perfect, where you can see the paws in the grass, because this paints right over it. It's applied right over the top of it, and you don't really see it. There we go. Yeah, I'm liking that. All right. So up close and personal. Look at that. And that pretty much is my finished product. Okay, if you guys are not done yet, don't worry about it. Keep working. Check out the gold glitter on my leaves. If you don't have the glitter, remember you can always pick this up and add it later. No stress. Okay. So, we're going to start wrapping things up here, everyone. Just want to talk a little bit to you guys. Again, just in case, we got for sure 2 more events this month. One is that panda painting that we're doing on Wednesday the 19th. Don't have the time for that yet, but I will be posting about that tomorrow. So this little guy right here, for those of you that might have missed it, I'm going to have a template out for that as well. Okay. The 29th, we're doing another one of these lives on a Saturday the 29th. And we're likely going to be adding one to the 22nd. Okay. And then again, of course, September is going to be filled with a bunch of events. So for those of you that aren't yet liking and following the page, please do so that you guys can get alerted when those come up. I'm going to have a calendar up. I'll be updating the calendar for this month as soon as I have the event for the 29th up. So be on the lookout for that. And then again, don't forget about the drawing, right? Really quickly, the rules. You can tag me on your page when you post your painting that you finished today. The cutoff is 12 midnight. When you post your painting and you say something about your experience with me today, make sure that you then message me directly. Okay, message me directly on via Messenger on Painting with Jesse. Okay, and those of you that have my personal, you can send me there as well. No worries. But you want to tag Painting with Jesse, and don't forget to message me. If you don't message me, I may not see your post, and so I may not be able to get you into the raffle, right? I won't get you in the raffle if I don't know that you shared it and tag the page, etc. Cutoff is midnight, and then I will do my very best to have the raffle done by tomorrow. It's been a really crazy busy month, especially trying to grow this page. And so I've got a lot of stuff going on, but I will definitely try to have the raffle done, the drawing tomorrow. And I'll probably do it as a live, but it just depends on what time of the day it is and things like that. So we'll see. I'll definitely do my best to get that done tomorrow. And then, like I said, I mail that to you. I cover all costs, unless you're close to me, and then I can drop it off to you. All right? I've done that 3 times now, 3 or 4 times. I can't remember. So I've had a few people out there that have some of my paintings, my originals. But anyway, everyone, thank you guys so very much. Does anybody have any questions? Gina, hi Gina, you got it. Hope you're able to pick up that. Were you able to pick up that easel? I don't know I think it was you, right, that was telling me about the easel you wanted to pick up. Hopefully you did. But Claudia Bear again, thank you. Again, these hearts go out to all of you. And then once again, folks, if you would like to support the channel, you guys have already seen the information for those links. They're also going to be in the description of the video once it's up after the live. Okay, so there it is once again. Venmo, PayPal, and Zelle. And I will not be mad if you send me $100 million. Okay? I will not. I will repeat. I will not. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much. And I hope to see you guys all back here soon. Send me pictures. Don't forget, please. And you guys have an awesome rest of the weekend. And I will see you guys all very soon. All right? Bye, everybody. You got it, Rebecca. My pleasure. Mubin. My pleasure, Mubin. Thank you for joining again. All right, everybody. These hearts go to all of you. All of you 30 still hanging out. Take your time with these guys. Even if you finish, later, tomorrow, etc. Take your time. All right, guys. See everyone later. Bye-bye.